Chris Bassett talking after his start yesterday in the Blue Jays 6-2 win. A lot of the younger or less experienced guys helping out in that. A big day from Clement, Horwitz, Schneider, Loperfido, Jimenez, and Toronto took it 6-2, setting up a rubber match at Rogers Center today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks so much for joining us. And after seeing maybe some of the uglier sides of youth and inexperience over the last couple days, we did get to see the fun side of it again yesterday, Chris.
Yeah, it was a great game yesterday. A lot of guys really contributed to that fun atmosphere that we saw at the Rogers Center, but they're in tough today against Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea is really putting together a solid season. He's changed his arm angle to kind of mimic Chris Sale, which I think is pretty interesting. And since he's changed his arm angle, he's had a ton of success.
It will be very interesting to see what the Blue Jays do against Manaea and what Bowden Francis does against the Mets today. Before we get there, though, let's go to the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. The New York Mets open up today tied with the Atlanta Braves for second in the NL East, 8 games back of the Phillies at 79 and 66, and right now in a tie for the third wildcard spot with the Braves as well. On the Blue Jays side, 69 and 77 is 14.5 back of the Yankees for the division lead and 8.5 back of the Twins for the final wildcard spot. So a big game on the Mets side, and who is in that Mets lineup, Chris LaRue?
Well, for the Mets, leading off is Francisco Lindor. He'll be at shortstop. Batting second is Jose Iglesias. He'll play second base. Batting third is Mark Vientos. He'll play third. In the cleanup spot is Brandon Nimmo. He'll be in left field. Batting fifth is Pete Alonso. He'll be at first base. DHing today is JD Martinez. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh is Starling Marte. He'll be in right field. Behind the dish is Francisco Alvarez. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth is Harrison Bader. He'll be in center field. On the mound for the Mets is lefty Sean Manaea. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is George Springer. He'll be DHing today. Nathan Lucas will bat second. He'll be in right field. Batting third is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll play first base. At shortstop, cleaning up today is Ernie Clement. Batting fifth is Will Wagner. He'll be at second base. In left field, batting sixth is Davis Schneider. Batting seventh is Luis De Los Santos. He'll be at third base. Batting eighth is Joey Loperfido. He'll be in center field. And behind the plate, batting ninth, is Brian Serven. On the mound is righty Bowden Francis.
28-year-old is making his 25th appearance of the season and his 11th start, and it's been a big year, of course, for Francis, the pitcher of the month in the American League in August. He's 8-4 with a 3.72 ERA, 81 strikeouts to 19 walks in 84 2/3 innings pitched, and had a big test in his last start against the Philadelphia Phillies. Gave up 2 homers early on, but went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, did take the loss in the start.
Yeah, he left a couple of pitches up, made 2 mistakes in that ballgame. Like you said, a couple of early home runs, but after the second inning, he really settled in, kind of reverted back to that stud that he's been over the last month or so, made good pitches. The split finger had a little bit more depth to it since from the second inning on, and I mean, I hope that he pitches like that guy today and not so much the first and second inning like he did against the Phillies.
For Francis, the mix is 4-seamer, sinker, curve, slider, and splitter being the big and notable addition. He's warming up right now as the Blue Jays don their darker blue uniforms today with white pants. The Mets for a third straight day in the all-gray road unis, and what a day it is in downtown Toronto. Pale light blue sky on the left side, and on the right side, a little bit deeper blue. The sun is over third base near left. But it is quite the day for a series finale and a big shot for the Blue Jays here to beat a contending team in a series. Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire and crew chief, dusts off the plate. He's joined by Brian Walsh at first, Stu Sherwater at second, and Dan Merzel at third today. Francisco Lindor will lead off for the Mets. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Starts to dig into the batter's box. Francis standing all of 6'5" on the third base side of the mound, winds and delivers. And the first pitch is hit very high in the air to shallow right field. Moving toward it is Nathan Lucas wearing sunglasses. He makes a one-handed catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Time of the first pitch, 3:09 Eastern, 24 degrees, roof open, very sunny in downtown Toronto. And after Kyle Schwarber hit the leadoff homer last time Francis pitched here, I'm sure he's pretty happy to get that one pitch and one out.
Well, that must feel really good. He threw that fastball, four-seamer, 91 miles an hour. MVP candidate Francisco Lindor just popped that thing up to right field. That's definitely a good feeling.
First pitch now to Jose Iglesias is 92, and it misses outside. Ball one. Third baseman Luis De Los Santos a little bit in, 1-0. Swing and a foul ball. It is not really the typical configuration defensively for the Blue Jays by any stretch, even over the last month, with De Los Santos at third, Clement at short, Wagner at second, Guerrero at first, and Servin behind the plate. And Toronto has Schneider in left, Loperfido in center, and Nathan Lucas in right. 1-1 pitch, misses inside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I feel like we've talked about this a lot over the last month and a half or so, but this looks more like a Buffalo Bison's lineup than it does a Toronto Blue Jays lineup.
It's been that kind of month with the Blue Jays giving lots of guys opportunities, trying to see who could be on the team or compete for a starting role next year. The wind and the 2-1. Swing and a miss. That time a slider from Francis gets Iglesias out in front, 2-2.
Iglesias a little bit frustrated, staring out at Bowden Francis. I don't know if he couldn't see that pitch or he was just fooled by it.
You can't quick pitch someone out of the windup, so he didn't do that. 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball, deep right field, headed toward the corner. Lucas runs into foul territory and makes the catch before crashing into that short wall and netting, 2 down.
Yeah, it's never fun crashing into that short wall out there. It's about knee high. Nathan Lucas kind of takes a medium tumble over that wall, saved by the netting. It's a great catch over there in right field.
Nathan Lucas hasn't played that many games at this Rogers Center. He played last year where the wall was different pole to pole, but not with the short sidewalls. But he did tell me a couple days ago that it's not that big of a deal. There are a lot of ballparks he plays in that are similar. Pitch to Mark Vientos with 2 down. Swing and a miss, strike 1. We're in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 0-1. Called strike. Slider at the knees, 0-2. 2 quick outs for Francis, now facing the Met third baseman, who's batting .278 with 24 home runs. That's only in 95 games for technically a third-year player, although really the second season for Mark Vientos. Righty stands tall, even stance, 0-2. Check swing on a pitch inside, appeal to third. Oh no, he went around, says home plate umpire Mark Carlson. Never mind, strike 3. Bowden Francis punches out Vientos, and that's going to do it for the top of the first. A 1-2-3 inning, capped off by, guess what? A splitter for a strikeout, and the Blue Jays will bat next in a scoreless game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Ross Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the first inning, no score, Blue Jays and Mets. Sean Manaea into the line, delivers the first pitch high to George Springer. Ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue. Technical directors are Derek Brandeo and Tom Young. Show Ali, our host and producer. Manaea now hits the top of the zone with a sinker to make it 1-1. Springer, Lucas, Guerrero for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the first inning. Next pitch from Manaea, inside, 2-1. They're facing the 32-year-old lefty Manaea, who's 11-5, 3.43 ERA in 28 starts. His 2-1. Outside, ball 3. Springer batting .221 on the season, 18 doubles, 19 home runs. 3-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 4, and George Springer takes a leadoff walk.
That fastball velocity from Manaea is just a tick down right now. Normally it's 92 to 94 miles an hour. Fastball so far today has been 89 to 92.
For Manaea, it's a couple different types of fastballs. Throws a sinker and a four-seamer. He'll also mix in a cutter a little bit. Sweeper's a big pitch for him, so is the change. First pitch to Nathan Lucas. He shows bunted, bunts it foul. 0-1. Manaea, the southpaw, on the rubber, looking at George Springer, the runner on first. And the pitch. Swing and a foul back by Lucas, 0-2. Lefty working very quickly. The 0-2. Swing and a bouncing ball to second. This could be 2. Iglesias flips the Lindor 1. Back to first, not in time. Nathan Lucas beats it out. Sprinting all the way to make it a fielder's choice. There is one down after that ground ball.
Pretty good sweeper from Sean Manaea right there. Nathan Lucas running hard down the first baseline. I think the New York Mets are thinking about taking a look at this. Pete Alonso was staring into the dugout, but I don't think they will.
It was bang bang over at first for sure, and I don't think the Mets could have turned it much better than they did. But Lucas, just with a lot of speed, legs it out. And now Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up to the plate with 1 out. No score in the game, and the pitch from Sean Manaea. Outside, ball 1.
Boy, he really is low 3/4. They weren't lying when they said that he's trying to mimic Chris Sale's arm slot.
Yeah, Manaea is definitely not coming straight over the top after being mostly over the top for his career. 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1. This is his first year with the New York Mets. Signed a 2-year, $26 million contract with the Mets in January, but he does have an opt-out after this season. 1-1. Lucas takes off from first. Pitch outside a ball. Throw down to second. Bounces in late. And Nathan Lucas has the bag stolen. His first stolen base of the Major League here. He's in scoring position with 1 out.
Nathan Lucas got a great jump going first move on Sean Manaea, who's a left-handed pitcher. Francisco Alvarez really couldn't do anything. Tried to throw him out from his knees. Nowhere close at second base.
Yeah, I think Alvarez knew he didn't have the time to pop up at that point. A good play by Iglesias just to make sure he tracked down the bouncing throw. Manaea looks at second, 2-1 to Guerrero. Bounces in, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. The change, though, for Sean Manaea, whether it's that or something else, it's worked out very well for him. Not only is he having maybe his best year as a starter, at least ERA-wise right now, 3.42. But it's only getting better his season. 3-1 pitch. Guerrero hits it foul, full count. You go from June 14th to now, he's had an ERA just below 3, and the Mets have won 13 of 16 of his starts and the last 5 in a row. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets Guerrero on an elevated heater, and there are 2 outs.
Yeah, there's that good velo right there. That one, 94 miles an hour. Looks like a very hittable pitch, and then it almost keeps rising because of that low 3/4 arm slot. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just swings underneath of it.
So 2 down, and here's the cleanup hitter, Ernie Clement. Lucas on second, the pitch from Minaya. Swing and a foul back, 0-1. Not sure we expected Clement to take many cleanup reps this season. Hitting .265 on the year, 20 doubles, 3 triples, and 11 home runs. Right-handed hitter and native of Rochester, New York, bats against the Mets with a runner on second, 2 down. 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I feel like Ernie Clement can really do anything. He could be a leadoff hitter. I mean, I don't think of him as a cleanup hitter, but he could be a leadoff hitter, your 6-hole guy, your 9-hole guy.
1-1. Swing and a shallow fly ball left field. Charging Nimmo, and he gets there to make the catch near the foul line and end the inning. Nearly a flare that worked out for Clement, but instead it's a scoreless bottom of the first. No hits for the Blue Jays, no errors for the Mets, and 1 Blue Jay runner left on base. No score going to the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi there, it's Will Arnett here, host of Smartless, a podcast I do with my pals Sean Hayes and Jason Bateman, with special guests from Larry David, Selena Gomez, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the presidents Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton. But it's an off-the-cuff podcast examining the nooks and crannies of an English muffin to breaking down world affairs. And now you can hear every new episode a full week early on the SiriusXM app, including this week's latest with Howard Stern. Just search Smartless to join the fun.
SiriusXM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble, and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the SiriusXM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
The U.S. men's national team has hired Mauricio Pochettino as their next head coach. Here's what the experts on SiriusXM FC had to say.
This is a defining moment in American soccer for me.
This is a coup for the U.S. men's national team.
Pochettino can look at these guys, evaluate these guys, and it's going to be all about merit.
He represents hope for the U.S. men's national team fan.
When a major story breaks, tune to SiriusXM FC for instant reaction and analysis. Channel 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the second inning, scoreless game, Blue Jays and Mets. Bowden Francis' first pitch goes in the zone to Brandon Nimmo to get ahead 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for joining us today. Blue Jays and Mets wrapping up a 3-game series. The 0-1. Down and away. Francis, the right-hander, got all 3 batters he faced in the first. Now he starts the second against a left-handed hitter in Brandon Nimmo. Pete Alonso and J.D. Martinez due up as well. 1-1 pitch is hit in the air, foul left side, 1-2.
That fastball is really starting to look good. A lot of life through the strike zone. Almost has a little bit of rise when it gets to the strike zone. Mets seem to be having a problem with it.
His 1-2. Missed outside with a splitter, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Francis used the splitter to strike out Mark Vientos to end the first. His 2-2. Swing and a ground ball foul right side. Went back to the splitter there, but it was in the zone, and Nimmo got a piece of it.
Yeah, that one right there, a little bit straight, a little bit of a floater through the strike zone. That pitch that he threw to Mark Vientos to end the first inning, that was a really good split finger, a lot of bite and an awkward swing.
Another 2-2. And a late swing, and that one's chopped foul left side. You could tell the splitter is in the head of Nimmo because he was way behind 93.
That was super protect mode. Ball was almost in Brian Servan's glove when he started swinging.
Nimmo, a 227 hitter, faces another 2-2 and takes a curveball in the dirt. Ball 3. Brandon Nimmo starting in left field today. Got the start in center field yesterday. And back up in the cleanup spot. He was dropped a little bit in the order yesterday to 5. He and JD Martinez, who will hit this inning, were both dropped yesterday. Both had been struggling a little bit. 3-2 pitch is hit off the handle, a pop-up to third. Luis de Los Santos camped under it, two-handed squeeze, and there's one out.
Oh, boy. Brandon Nimmo was really struggling with that fastball. That one right there, in on the hands. The only thing he could do was hit a weak pop-up to third base, but he had no chance to get any of those fastballs in that at-bat.
Well located, that last one by Francis, too, right on the inner and upper corner of the zone. So one out, base is empty. Francis winds and delivers to Pete Alonso. Check swing, called strike with the slider, 0-1. Brian Servan did mention to me today not just using the split more, but they like using the slider a little bit more than they were at the beginning of the year. 0-1. Swing and a high pop-up. Foul territory, first base side. Servan getting rid of the mask. A long run, and he backpedals and makes the catch. High difficulty there on a catcher pop-up, but Servan makes the play in front of the first base dugout, and there are 2 down.
That was a big league pop-up right there, but also a really good fastball at the top of the strike zone. That's the thing that people forget about with Bowden Francis. He really utilizes the top of that strike zone with the fastball. That's part of the reason why he's had so much success.
Now he's just found, it seems like, the right pitch to play off of it. He was high fastball, big curveball when he started this year and for years before, and that didn't seem to get guys off the fastball enough, but now the splitter seems to complement it much better. The wind and the pitch to JD Martinez with 2 outs. Fastball misses up and in, ball 1. Martinez, the DH, once again, playing in his 110th game and batting .249, 16 homers, 1-0. Inside 2-0.
And how many times have we seen this? You get 2 quick outs, then you fall behind 2-0 to the next hitter.
You still got to be careful with JD Martinez. Even if he's not having his best season, he can hurt you at a moment's notice. 2-0. Swing and a very high pop-up to short. Ernie Clement moving to his right, makes the catch and ends the inning. 3 mile-high pop-ups produced by Bowden Francis in another 1-2-3 inning. Middle of the second, no score. Blue Jays and Mets. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world.
What's up, baseball fans? Thanks for hanging out with us for this Toronto Blue Jays matchup. Really appreciate you guys being here and chatting it up. Please take a second to smash that like button down below. Hit that thumbs up for us. It helps bring more fans into the chat and helps the channel grow. The more likes, the better. Thank you guys so much for smashing that like button. Now let's get back to the baseball. Let's go Blue Jays. Finish strong.
Highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey, Jays fans, ready to hit a home run with your next roofing project? Step up to the plate with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, the official roofing shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Just like our Jays, GAF Timberline HDZ shingles deliver top performance with unmatched durability and protection. So, when it's time to cover your bases, choose the winning team. Visit your local Home Depot or shop online at homedepot.ca for all your roofing shingles and accessories. GAF, we protect what matters most.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Roddy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Will Wagner leading off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the second inning. No score. Toronto and New York. Mets starter Sean Manaea starts him off with a breaking ball to get ahead 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in today. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Will Wagner entering today batting .324, 6 doubles, 2 home runs in 22 games. 0-2. Swing and a foul back. Still nothing in 2.
Sean Manaea almost throws across his body with that low 3/4 arm slot, so he's really, really tough on left-handed hitters.
0-2. Check swing pitch was high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It almost feels like he's coming at you, and then all of a sudden that ball comes darting across the plate. That was a tough fastball, that last pitch right there.
Big lefty winds and deals. And it's called strike 3. Breaking ball started like it was going to hit Wagner and then darted over the inside edge of the plate. And that's the first out of the bottom of the second. The second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Davis Schneider up, 1 out, the pitch. Called strike, 0-1. Manaea kicks, delivers, and Schneider hits it foul, 0-2. And Sean Manaea is not taking in the scenery on that mound. He is getting the ball back, and he is firing it quickly again to the plate.
He has dinner plans in Philadelphia tonight, that's for sure.
Manaea steps to the right, delivers home, and Schneider takes high and outside.
95 with that fastball, low 3/4, 95 miles an hour. So hard to pick up, so hard to hit.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on the sweeper. Back-to-back strikeouts on that pitch. 2 down.
Well, when you see a fastball at 95 at the top of the strike zone, then a sweeper that looks like a hittable pitch and then drops out of the strike zone. I mean, that's why he's been so good this season, so good at mixing pitches, so good at utilizing that big sweeper.
His pitch to Luis de los Santos. And it's breaking ball for strike 1, and that was a slower sweeper at 75. He used a 79-mile-per-hour sweeper to strike out Schneider. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. De los Santos playing in his 7th Major League game, 3 for 14 so far in his Major League career. He had asked for time, steps back in, and brings the bat above his right shoulder. Manaea rocks back and delivers. Swing and a liner sent to right field and down for a base hit. Sweeper was hung over the plate, and De Los Santos shoots it the other way for the first Blue Jays hit today.
Yeah, that was a good job. Going the other way, a hanging sweeper. Very well could have tried to pull that thing. Probably would have rolled over, but does a good job finding that hole on the right side of the infield.
That keeps the inning going for the Blue Jays. De Los Santos on first, and Joey Loperfido up with 2 outs. No score, Blue Jays and Mets. Manaea from the stretch. Check swing, called strike, 0-1. Second day in a row that Loperfido gets the start against a lefty starter. Went 1 for 2 off David Peterson yesterday. Step and throw over to first. De Los Santos dives back. On the season, Loperfido hitting .234, 11 doubles, 4 triples, and 4 home runs. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Big hack there on an inside fastball, 0-2.
Man, that is so awkward to lefties. It literally looks like he is stepping directly at you as a left-handed hitter, and then he quickly comes across his body and throws that fastball.
Manaea's 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, gets him on the elevated heater, and that's a 3-strikeout inning for Sean Manaea around the 2-out single. No score, Blue Jays and Mets as we go to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I'm
It's time to celebrate you with the party at the ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Fanal Giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the ninth. How much fun was that? It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend for the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're twomenintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think twomenintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move one day. Think twomenintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, twomenintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. He keeps this game tied
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the third inning at Rogers Center. Blue Jays and Mets tied 0-0. Bowden Francis on the mound, and the first pitch to Starling Marte misses up and in. Ball one. Bottom third of the Mets order hitting this inning. Marte, Alvarez, and Bader. That's Francisco, not Eddie Alvarez for the Mets. Marte had the day off yesterday. Back in today, playing right field. A .268 hitter on the season. The 1-0. Fastball just a little bit high. Two balls and no strikes. Starling Marte in his third year with the Mets. Signed a 4-year contract before 22. Swings at the 2-0 pitch and misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was a little cut fastball from Bowden Francis. I like that 2-0.
Yeah, I don't know that he's done that before, or maybe did it on purpose, as the 2-1 pitch misses down and away 3-1, but not bad to add some tools to the toolbox if you have them. Pardon me, they said he went around on the check swing on the last pitch, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marte leading off, Alvarez on deck. Francis standing tall, steps over to the left and into the wind. His 2-2. Swing and a foul ball over the netting and back into the stance behind home plate.
Another awkward swing on a fastball. Starling Marte was really late on that elevated heater from Bowden Francis. That tells you that there's something else in the back of these Mets players' mind. Probably the split.
Probably. 2-2 again. Swing and a fly ball right field going toward the corner. Lucas racing over, reaches out and makes the catch. 1 out.
Tough play out there in the corner in right field. Nathan Lucas was staring directly at the sun. He's got the sunglasses on, shading his face with his bare hand. Good job right there. Good play from Nathan Lucas.
So quick out to start the third inning for Bowden Francis, and now the catcher and 8-hitter Francisco Alvarez steps up. Mets searching for their first base runner. Right on right, the pitch home. In the dirt. The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Drummondville and Sherbrooke, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Quebec native Chris LaRue. 1-0. Low, 2 balls, no strikes.
I like that. I like that you threw that in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Some people forget. I grew up in Mississauga, so some people forget.
But you are a Quebec native.
I was born in Montreal.
The wind from Francis and the 2-0. Swing and a ground ball hit softly to short. On 3 bounces, picked up by Clement, throws over to first, and 2 outs.
Nice play from Ernie Clement. Just fields that ball perfectly right at his chest like a vacuum, that makes a perfect throw across the diamond.
Francis keeps rolling, 8 up, 8 down, now facing the number 9 hitter in the Met lineup, center fielder Harrison Bader. The wind from Francis in the first pitch. Called strike, 0-1. No score, Blue Jays and Mets. Nobody on, 2 outs, top of the third. Francis has only thrown 32 pitches so far. His 0-1. Check swing, pitch in the dirt. He didn't go around. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Harrison Bader's almost looking out at Bowden Francis like, what is this guy going to throw?
Bader, a veteran at this point. Francis, though, surprising a lot of people over the last 2 months. He winds and delivers. Hit on the ground softly to short again. On the run, picked up by Clement. Quick throw over to first in time. And that's another 1-2-3 innings. Scoreless ball game. Blue Jays and Mets, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NFL Sunday Drive is your home for the 2024 regular season.
Caught for the touchdown!
This is Steve Torrey. Join me and Bill Leckus every Sunday at noon Eastern as we take you live to every game, every touchdown, and every key moment.
Bucs take the lead with 9 seconds left.
Plus, reporters from every game, fantasy updates, and guests live from the locker room.
49ers tight end George Kittle.
Catch the NFL Sunday Drive every Sunday at noon Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. When home improvement projects are throwing you a curveball, talk to the folks at Timber Mart before you begin your next job. They've got the material and know-how to make sure you have all your bases covered. Timber Mart, Canada's building center. First pitch of the inning to Brian Servin, hit foul, 0-1. Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. No score, Blue Jays and Mets. Only 1 hit in the game so far. Toronto trying to solve Sean Manaea. Lefty dealing to the 9-hitter Servin. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Servin batting 169 on the season, 4 doubles and 3 RBIs in 26 games. Debuted against the New York Mets in his major league career when he was with Colorado. 1-1. Swing and a ground ball hit softly to short, picked up by Lindor. Routine play over to first, and there's 1 out. Chris, you're going to like this. Last night, through Jays Care Split the Pot raffle, 2 lucky fans won a trip to Puerto Rico and Taylor Swift tickets. However, you could still win another pair of Taylor Swift tickets or an all-inclusive vacation. If you're in Ontario or Nova Scotia, head to bluejays.com/5050. Select your add-on raffle tickets at checkout, and any of these prizes could be yours.
Do you know where I'm going to be when Taylor Swift is in town?
California.
Well, anywhere but here.
George Springer up, swings and misses after taking a first pitch strike, so it's 0-2.
But good guess, though. Good guess.
Yeah. I feel like it's the odds-on favorite. The wind from Manaea in the 0-2. Check swing, pitch down and in, appeal to third, no swing. Appeal to first, no swing, says Brian Walsh. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count on George Springer. 1 out, bases empty, no score, bottom of the third, and the pitch. Outside, ball 2.
Sean Manaea is really working quickly.
Just got the ball back, steps on the rubber, tucks the ball into his glove, and now he's in the wind again. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He's putting the pressure on these hitters, just delivering pitch after pitch after pitch. He gets Springer there for his 5th strikeout already in 2 2/3.
I mean, he has a 2.83 ERA in his last 14 starts, and you can see why. Just everything he throws is just so tough to hit. George Springer right there with the uncomfortable swing, nodding his head as he was walking back to that dugout, letting everybody know that that was in fact a good pitch.
So 2 down, Nathan Lucas up, and the first pitch is a called strike on the outside third, 0-1. It's a big reason why USA Today's Bob Nightingale reported that unless something goes way sideways, Manaea is going to opt out of his contract after the season. 0-1 pitch hit foul, nothing in 2.
I certainly would.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the back half of that 2-year, $26 million deal if he wants it, but he's probably put himself in line for a multi-year deal that is going to make even more than $13 million per season. 0-2. Swing and a liner left side, diving catch Lindor, and that'll end the inning. What a play from Francisco Lindor. He takes a hit away from Nathan Lucas on the left side of the infield, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Sean Manaea. We go to the 4th, still scoreless in this game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's Solheim Cup Week on PGA Tour Radio. And it falls over the front edge of the cup. Good stroke by Lexi Thompson. Team Europe faces off against Team USA in the premier team event in women's golf.
Wiggle cut, she has it! She makes a 25-footer at 1.
Full play-by-play coverage begins Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern and then continues over the weekend with the Sunday singles matches starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. Only on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the SiriusXM app.
Down the sidelines midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, from start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
4th inning at Rogers Center, Blue Jays 0, Mets 0 in the rubber match. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bowden Francis deals to Francisco Lindor, and the pitch is down and in, ball 1. 4th inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. The 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1.
Seems like neither Bowden Francis or Sean Manaea are getting much of a rest in their respective dugouts.
Although both of them have barely had to throw any pitches. Francis threw 34 in the first 3 innings. Manaea 43. Next pitch to Lindor. Skips to the plate. 2-1. And for Bowden, you come back out of the dugout and you're thrown right into the fire. Francisco Lindor, Jose Iglesias, Mark Vientos, the top third of the Met order. Righty kicks and delivers. And misses low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Francisco Lindor. Lindor signed with the Mets in 2021. This is his 4th season of a 10-year, $341 million contract. 3-1 pitch hit foul, 3-2. It's a little bit in the rearview mirror now, but he really struggled at the outset of that deal. 2021 was maybe the worst season of his career right after signing the contract. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a mile-high pop-up middle of the infield. Clement backing up onto the turf in left center, and he makes a one-handed catch.
That was a great job from Bowden Francis, coming back from 3-1 down. 2 good fastballs. That last one at the top of the strike zone, you could see the frustration in Francisco Lindor's face as soon as he made contact with that pitch, dropped the shoulder, slammed the bat down. Pretty good pitch from Bowden Francis.
Francis continues to roll along as he faces Jose Iglesias for the second time. The pitch. Called strike.
He is absolutely rolling.
He is rolling right now.
I know we've said that a lot recently, but
10 up, 10 down. He just keeps doing it. Francis is 0-1. Swing and a foul back, 0-2. Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. 0-2 pitch hit on a line. Running catch Guerrero as he angled toward the first base line to get that sinking liner. Not hit very hard, but still a tough play. 2 down.
That might have been the most backup slider I've ever seen in my life.
It worked.
It was like a split finger that went the other way.
And it jammed Iglesias, so it worked exactly how he wanted it to. And now there are 2 outs. We'll go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard in just a second. First, with 2 down and the bases empty, Francis dealing to Mark Vientos, right-handed hitting third baseman. Swing and a ground ball to third base. Charging in, De Los Santos takes it on the short hop, throws over to first, and ends the inning. We'll do the out-of-town scoreboard on the other side. Bowden Francis pitching too quickly and too efficiently right now for anything else but outs. No score, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer started right, coming in, leaps and makes the catch full stretch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue, bottom of the 4th inning, scoreless, Blue Jays and Mets. First pitch of the inning to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., line to left field for a base hit. Cut off near the corner by Nimmo. That will limit Guerrero to a single, but an absolute rocket against that changeup, and the Blue Jays have their second hit of the game.
Sean Manaea tried to sneak in a first-pitch changeup right there. Not a bad pitch, actually, at the bottom of the strike zone, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr., as he does so often, just waits back on it and absolutely hammers it to left field.
Leadoff runner on for the Blue Jays. Third base runner total against Manaea today. The pitch to Clement. Swing and a liner sinking in shallow left center and down for a base hit. Clement up to first, Guerrero at second. That sweeper hung a little bit. Looked like Ernie started to swing, stopped, and then swung again, but he got a good enough piece of wood on it for a knock.
Yeah, he definitely got jammed a little bit on that elevated sweeper from Minaya, but he just did just enough of muscling it out to center field. Pretty good swing.
Now the Blue Jays with a pair aboard here and nobody out. Third baseman Mark Vientos is moving into the infield turf in case Will Wagner thinks about sacrifice bunting. The pitch from Minaya. Wagner takes all the way and takes up high, ball 1.
I wouldn't sack bunt here. Why?
You know, of the two of us, I'm not the one advocating for sack bunts a lot of the time, so I'm not going to say they should. 1-0. High and outside, ball 2.
No, I just think this is a good opportunity for a left-handed hitter in Will Wagner, young player, to face a very good major league left-handed pitcher. Why not just let him face him?
I agree. A lot of space on the left side of the infield. 2-0. High, ball 3. It's kind of an awkward infield for the Mets because they both are shifting to pull, so everyone is over to the right except Vientos, who's not that far from the third baseline and playing in, so much room on the left. 3-0 pitch, inside, ball 4, doesn't matter because they 4-pitch walk him and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, neither one of those pitches was really close, especially that last one. It almost hit Wagner on the hands.
Wagner will head comfortably down to first base, up to second, Clement, Guerrero at third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Davis Schneider. Got a little bit off the schneid yesterday with a triple, a 2-run triple. The pitch. Called strike. 0-1. For Schneider, it was his first triple of the season. Batting 192 after his strikeout in the second inning of this game. The 0-1. Swing and a ground ball down the third baseline. Stopped on the backhand side by Vientos. Steps on third for 1 out. Throws to first, not in time. Guerrero does come in to score, so that'll go down as an RBI fielder's choice for Davis Schneider.
Well, that was really close to getting down the left field line. I think John Gimmons is thinking about taking a look at this at first base. It was really close at first base, but Davis Schneider almost had a couple of RBIs and a double there, but Mark Vientos with a really nice play.
We just saw a second look at the play at first. He's definitely safe, and the Mets decide not to challenge. So for Schneider, an RBI, and for the Blue Jays, a 1-0 lead. First and second, only 1 out. Luis de los Santos up, and the pitch. Inside, ball 1. De Los Santos had the first Blue Jays hit today, single to right field in the second for his 4th career hit. 1-0. Swing and a miss. This is a pretty good spot for De Los Santos to get in. This year between the majors and the minors, he has dominated left-handed pitching, batting .350 with an OPS above 1,000. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. De Los Santos adjusts his batting gloves, asks for time, just to get a reset of the clock before he steps back into the righty box. Wagner on second, Schneider on first. 1-0 Blue Jays, 1 out. The pitch. Check swing, called, strike 3. Let's try this again. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar & Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar & Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Joey Loperfido stepping up. There was one game that's already finished today. It was the Chris LaRubel as the Pirates beat the Marlins 3-1 at PNC Park. First pitch to Loperfido, cut on and missed, 0-1.
You think that was the most watched ball game of the day?
I think it's an NLCS preview right there. Matching up the two teams with the most recent success in Major League Baseball. 0-1. Loperfido cuts and misses, 0-2. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar & Grill in Toronto. It's 1-0 Blue Jays, 2 on and 2 out. Loperfido grabs at the middle of his barrel to get a little bit of that pine tar grip. And now ready to go. Struck out swinging last time on a sinker, 0-2. just high and potentially a strike, but called a ball by Mark Carlson. It's 1-2.
That is nasty work right there from Sean Manaea. 95 miles an hour, what looked like a strike to me.
1-2. Outside for sure that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice day for Loperfido yesterday. 2 hits, including a double in the 8th inning. Two. Swing and a foul back into the screen. 96-mile-per-hour sinker from Manaea, his hardest pitch of the day.
Well, again, it looks like Sean Manaea is coming at left-handed hitters. You could tell just by how uncomfortable those swings are from Joey Loperfido, just fouling them back, trying to stay alive in this at-bat.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball, or actually rather a pop-up to short. Vientos, the third baseman, calls for it and makes the catch to end the inning. Blue Jays on the board, though. They score a run on 2 hits. The run knocked in by the Davis Schneider RBI fielder's choice. It's 1-0 Blue Jays after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Surrender your mind and body to the rhythm of electronic dance music on Sirius XM. EDM hits and sets from the world's top DJs are on BPM Channel 52. Drop into a 24/7 global house party thrown by superstar DJ and tastemaker Diplo on
Diplo's Revolution.
Channel 53, or decompress and unwind to the...
Cheers, Insiders! Thanks for hanging out with us for this Toronto Blue Jays game. I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider. We are almost at 37,000, and it is insane to see this amount of growth. But it's Toronto, and we knew Toronto sports fans could do big things. That's why we're here. So let's cheer on our Blue Jays, and let's get back to the action. But before you do that, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto sports game. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Thanks for being an insider. Go Blue Jays, go.
It's Solheim Cup Week on PGA Tour Radio, and it falls over the front edge of the cup. Good stroke by Lexi Thompson. Team Europe faces off against Team USA in the premier team event in women's golf.
Wiggle cut, she has it! She makes a 25-footer at 1.
Full play-by-play coverage begins Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern, and then continues over the weekend with the Sunday singles matches starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. Only on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players. From start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Into the 5th inning we go at Rogers Center. Blue Jays and Mets playing Game 3 of this series in Toronto with a 1-0 lead. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today, Derek Brandeo, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Bowden Francis starts with Brandon Nimmo, the pitch. Breaking ball, misses inside, ball 1. No base runners yet for the New York Mets. This is a big game for the Mets, tied with the Braves for the last wildcard spot. 1-0 pitch is a splitter downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Francis winds and delivers. Swing and a line drive right field. Lucas on the run makes the catch, moving to his right into the gap. And there's 1 out.
Pretty good swing from Brandon Nimmo right there. Fastball right down the middle. He absolutely hammered it to right field. But Nathan Lucas just catches that ball easily at the chest for out number 1.
There hasn't been a lot of hard contact today. That's one where Francis probably got a little bit lucky. Nimmo hit that 109 miles an hour.
It looked like 109 miles an hour.
Pete Alonso up to the plate. 1 out, base is empty, and the pitch. And he plunked him. Four-seam fastball ran in near the ribs of Alonso. Might have got his arm kind of shielding himself before those ribs. But regardless, it's a hit batter, and for the Mets, it's their first base runner of the day.
Yeah, that was just a four-seam fastball that got away from Bowden Francis. Like you said, hit him in the elbow, but Pete Alonso walked the whole way from home plate to first base. You don't really see that often.
Granted, he has been hit by pitches in that spot on back-to-back days. Pitch now to J.D. Martinez. Check swing, bouncer, foul, 0-1.
Another really awkward swing. J.D. Martinez almost swung at that baseball when it was in Brian Servan's glove.
And that wasn't the fastball, that wasn't the splitter, that was the slider from Bowden Francis. Righty working from the stretch for the first time today. Rocks back, delivers. And bounces a breaking ball, 1-1.
And we've actually seen J.D. Martinez use the right side of the field quite often. Will Wagner's shading towards second base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., of course, is holding on Pete Alonso at first. There is a huge hole on the right side of that infield.
1-1. Swing and a chopper to third. That's going to roll foul. Alonso was sprinting to second. He'll turn around and make his way back to first base. Counts now 1-2. If anything, this season, J.D. Martinez uses the whole field, much more than he did last year with the Dodgers. Hits it up the middle most often at 38%. 28% of the time he goes the opposite way, pulls it just over a third of the time. 1-2. Downstairs with the breaking ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez has done a lot of damage at Rogers Center, most often with the Boston Red Sox. 25 RBIs in 34 career games here in Toronto. 2-2. Swing and a line drive right field. Backing up, Lucas makes the catch in front of the track. A little bit more hard contact, but another out for Bowden Francis. Alonso stays at first, now 2 down.
Yeah, I think Bowden Francis will take that. Not a bad pitch, a fastball down and away. J.D. Martinez actually did a good job taking it the other way, hitting a pretty good line drive, but again, Nathan Lucas just tracks it down and makes an easy catch.
So 2 outs now, Starling Marte up to the plate. Runner on first for the Mets, 1-0 Blue Jays. Francis peeks over at Alonso, and now pitches to Marte. Swing and a miss.
Again, with a little bit of cut on that fastball, Starling Marte just kind of wailed at it.
Yeah, that tracked as a slider, but there's no way that was a slider. He threw it 89 miles an hour. Maybe manipulating his fastball a little bit differently. 0-1. Just missed up and away.
Yeah, there's some cut to that fastball. That fastball right there was 89.5 miles an hour with a little bit of cut at the end. I wonder if he's mixing in a cutter.
Just putting his hand more on the side of the ball, potentially. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Quickly on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Guardians leading the White Sox 5-4 today in Chicago in the 6th. And in a World Series rematch, it's the Diamondbacks leading the Rangers right now, 5-0, bottom of the 2nd in Arizona. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 1-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs top of the 5th, and the 1-2. In the dirt, Marte tracked it all the way, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marte with a couple of underhanded swings, brings the bat in front of his chest. A few more underhanded swings, and now raises it high toward the sky. 2-2 offering. Swings and hits it high in the air, foul. Back behind the plate to the right, out of play. Still 2-2.
Brian Servan liked what he saw on that fastball, pointing that glove. He does that so often, giving the pitcher confidence. I love that about him.
Told me he was very excited today to work with Bowden again. He said, I think Bowden likes working with me too. So Brian, he definitely likes working with you. Even if he didn't like you, he would like working with you. 2-2. Swing and a foul off the catcher Servan.
I don't know if Brian Servan knows this, but he has made Bowden Francis a lot of money.
Certainly. I mean, they started working together when Bowden went down in the middle of the season to Buffalo. It was before the Blue Jays had traded Yusei Kikuchi away, and Francis was stretching back out to be a starter, and then they both kind of came up at the same time, and it has really worked out. 2-2. Just off the plate outside, ball 3. Francisco Alvarez of the Mets saying something to Starling Marte from the on-deck circle. He's almost behind the plate. Alvarez has moved a little bit closer to the batter. Runner off on this pitch. The 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4, and Marte takes a walk. Alonso up to second.
Yeah, that was weird. Francisco Alvarez was really close to home plate in that batter's circle. And then as the pitch was being thrown, he kind of walked back towards the dugout. I don't know what was happening there, but he was saying something to Starling Marte.
Yeah, I haven't seen an on-deck hitter get that involved in the play at all this year. But now Alvarez will have a chance to do something himself. He comes up to the plate, first and second for the Mets. 2 outs and a 1-0 Blue Jay lead, top of the 5th. Bowden looks at second, looks at the plate, and delivers. Fastball. Called a ball. Looked pretty good on the outside corner. 1-0.
They're calling that a slider, but I believe that is just a cut fastball that he's throwing at 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think this is new. He does not throw hard enough to throw an 88-mile-per-hour slider. 1-0. Low. That was the slider at 79. 2 balls and no strikes. Francis's pitch count is climbing a little bit in this inning, and he's hit a batter and walked a batter. 2-0. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. Hadn't allowed a base runner until this inning. Still no hits allowed for Francis. But the Mets could tie this game up. First and second, 2 down, and the 2-1. Swing and a fly ball to right field. Lucas tracking back toward the warning track. Just in front of it, reaches out and makes the catch to end the inning. Around a hit batter and a walk. 3 different balls hit in the air to right field, all caught by Nathan Lucas. Makes it another scoreless inning for Bowden Francis. 1-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the award-winning podcast, Black Diamonds. This week, Tony Gwynn Jr. joins me to discuss the history of the East-West All-Star Game and its recreation in Cooperstown, New York.
It was an honor just to be a part of that. It's an eye-opening experience to realize the type of community you're connected to.
Listen to Black Diamonds right now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
You cannot afford to drop a running back.
Our experts will help you dominate.
I think there's value there on Austin Eckler in PPR formats.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM.
Let's go, man!
We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
Go bowling at the Glen from Watkins Glen International.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah!
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Yeah!
Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 5th inning in downtown Toronto. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays 1, Mets nothing. Brian Servin leads off the inning and takes the first pitch from Sean Manaea outside, ball 1. Toronto scoring its last time up to the plate. 2 hits in the 1-run 4th. And now Manaea misses again, 2-0. Servin grounded out to short in the 3rd inning. Trying to help the Blue Jays get a leadoff base runner here. That was a big part of their last run scoring inning. 2-0. He takes again. It's a called strike. Brian Servant debuted against the Mets in the majors. He also hit his first 2 major league hits as the 2-1 comes in, and it's hit high in the air to right center field. Marte making the call, makes the catch, 1 out. Servant had his first 2 major league hits, though, against the Mets. He homered twice in the same game.
This injury report is brought to you by Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count. Call Bergmanis Pereira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pereira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca.
The pitch to George Springer is hit on a line and caught up in the air by Jose Iglesias. What a play at second base, leaping to the backhand side to rip one away from Springer.
Well, I don't think George Springer can hit a baseball any harder than that. He hammered that thing up the middle. Francisco Alvarez, the catcher, had 2 hands or 2 arms up in the air in celebration. What a play from Jose Iglesias.
Really nice play, and now 2 down. Pitch to Nathan Lucas. Inside, ball 1. On that injury report that you were mentioning, Bo Bichette played yesterday. John Schneider said he's feeling good today. He went 1 for 3 in 5 innings at shortstop. 1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1. That was Bichette's first game back from rehab, and it took a while that game. The opposing team scored 11 runs against the Bisons. The Gwinnett Stripers, 1-1 pitch, hit on the ground to second. Iglesias picks it up and throws over to first to end the inning. So Bo Bichette will not play today because that game took a little bit longer. That was a very quick inning, aided by a very nice play by Jose Iglesias up the middle. 1-2-3 for Sean Manaea and the Mets, and we go to the 6th with the Blue Jays leading 1-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
September 25th.
We're going in.
Chicago Wednesday returns on City TV.
Police, get back!
We all face fear.
Crazy upside-down world out there.
But only heroes run towards it.
If someone is in trouble, you do whatever you gotta do to help them.
You do what it takes. You're gonna be okay. We got you now.
Chicago Med, Fire and PD. New season's premiere September 25th on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
1-0 Blue Jays, top of the 6th inning at Rogers Center. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue on hand. Bowden Francis dealing to Harrison Bader. The first pitch runs inside, ball 1. No hits allowed so far for Bowden Francis. He hit a batter and walked a batter in the 5th. Those are his only base runners so far today. His 1-0 to Bader. Just below the knees, ball 2.
Bowden Francis just threw his 67th pitch of the ball game. It's pretty good.
And that was after a fairly long 5th inning. (2-0). Just low, ball 3. Bader, the batter for the Mets, a 2-year New York Yankee, a native of Bronxville, New York, the neighborhood right beside the Bronx. 3-0. Called strike 3-1.
We were talking about Adam Ottavino last night living the dream, but how about Harrison Bader? Same thing.
3-1. Swing and a grounder foul, 3-2. Bader spending most of his career with the Cardinals, then got traded in the Jordan Montgomery deal, or the first Jordan Montgomery deal, to the Yankees. 3-2. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Going back, Schneider at the wall, leaps, and he makes the catch. My goodness, Davis Schneider crashing into the wall in left. There's one out.
Well, I thought he had no chance at that baseball. Harrison Bader didn't really hit it all that hard, but he was about 10 feet from getting it out of here, and Davis Schneider goes crashing into that bullpen out in left field against the wall. Wow, what a catch.
That's one of, if not the best defensive plays Schneider has made this season. And he kind of face planted right into that corner where the padding turns into the chain link fence that the relievers look out of. Bullpen loved it. Schneider caught it, turned to the bullpen, tipped his cap, and threw it back in. One out. The pitch to Francisco Lindor is low ball one. And the Mets might be asking, what do we got to do here? No hits now through 5 1/3. Although I think there's a little bit of a mound issue. Francis wiping some dirt with his right hand, now kicking a little bit into the mound. And maybe they're even going to think about getting some of the grounds crew out there just in case if there's a little bit of a hole in the landing spot.
Well, he actually slipped on that last pitch. Went down to one knee after that first ball to Francisco Lindor, and then he did some of his own work. Nobody came out to help him, but
1-0. Swing and a foul back.
Grounds crew just staring at him.
Hey, I mean, when you got a guy on the mound that I think is not uncomfortable barefoot, burns a little bit of sage from time to time, I don't think he minds getting his hands dirty. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Francis induced a flyout from Lindor on his first pitch of the day. Got him to pop out to short in the fourth. 2-1. Swinging a liner, caught at first by Guerrero, 2 down. It's 2 pieces of hard contact for the Mets in this inning, but they're hitting it to the wrong spots.
Yeah, that was just a hanging splitter, one of those floaters. And like you said, what do the Mets have to do to get a base hit in this ball game? But good swing from San Francisco Lindor, but a very good result if you're Bowden Francis.
There has been more hard contact from New York deeper into this game. First 3 innings, it was all weak contact. But now we're third time through. 2 outs, bases empty. 1-0 Blue Jays. The pitch to Jose Iglesias. Check swing. Pitch was high. Appeal down to first. He didn't go. 1-0. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, by the way. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Derek Brandeo and Tom Young, our technical directors. 1-0. Fastball up and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
And again, this is a huge game for the New York Mets. Just over 2 weeks left in this season.
Entered today, tied with the Atlanta Braves for the final wild card spot. Those 2 teams tied in head-to-head record as well. Francis rocks, delivers, and hits the zone with a slow curveball, strike 1.
Bowden Francis actually made a motion that he was throwing a curveball as he was throwing that baseball. Yeah. I have never seen that before.
I think he was shaking his head as he started the wind. I think he was running out of time and realized on the clock that he just had to go. 2-1 pitch is a fastball hit foul, 2-2. You don't often see a guy also separate his glove from the ball mid-wind and then put it back in there. But like you said, he flipped the glove over there to signal curve.
Jose Iglesias probably thought he was lying.
Yeah, it's a hard one to decipher. 2-2. Hit foul again through the splitter below the zone. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Whatever Bowden Francis is doing right now, it just feels like it's working out.
I mean, if you can tell the batter what's coming and get a strike, that's incredible.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball foul down the right field line, out of play. Yeah, really not since the 1880s when you could request high pitch or low pitch and everyone only threw fastballs and they were all like 81 miles an hour. Have you been able to do that? 2-2. Fastball hit foul to the right.
Bowden's an old school guy.
Oh, yeah. 28-year-olds. It's all about mixing speeds, keeping people off balance. Has 1 strikeout in this game, but hasn't allowed a hit through 5 2/3. Righties 2-2. Inside, and it hit Iglesias. Or was it foul? No, it hit him. Looked a little bit like the elbow ducked into the path of the pitch, and John Schneider's coming out of the dugout to talk to Mark Carlson. We're elevated up, but that really looked to me like Iglesias blatantly thrust his arm in front of that pitch.
I have to agree. That was... I mean, that I think that's very obvious. He very obviously sticks his elbow out to get hit by that curveball from Bowden Francis.
And that pitch is not going to hit him unless he does that.
Right. You could see Bowden Francis actually motioning that he stuck his elbow out as well, and that's a tough break for Bowden Francis.
I don't know for sure, but I believe that you just heard Ryan Servant turning around and saying to Mark Carlson, that's blatant. Iglesias at first now, 2 outs in the pitch to Mark Vientos. Fastball ripped at and missed, strike one. Look, from the Mets side, you got to do what you got to do. They're trying to win a game. But that's one that should not be allowed to stand. Iglesias on first with 2 outs, 1-0 Blue Jays. The 0-1. Swing and a ground ball to third, vacuumed up by De Los Santos, throws the short way to second, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left, and Bowden Francis just keeps on rolling. 1-0 Blue Jays through 5.5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
NFL Week 2 is almost here. Sirius XM NFL Radio with a preview of tomorrow night's Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins game. Plus an in-depth look at all the games this Sunday, including the fallout from the latest injuries. NFL Radio, Sirius XM Channel 88, and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Radio Network.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 6th inning at Rogers Center. Toronto up 1-0 on the New York Mets. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. First pitch of the inning, misses outside, ball 1. Vladdy's 1 for 2 today, a single and a run scored in the 4th. 1-0. Called strike. Guerrero's average just dipping a little bit over the last couple days. He was 327, 328-ish earlier. 322 now, 1-1. Swing and a foul back, 1-2. Still with a fringe chance to catch Bobby Witt Jr. for the batting title. On the St. Louis Partner Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's the Yankees and Royals playing today at 7:05 in the Bronx. 1-2. Swing and a high pop-up shallow center field. Racing in, Bader calls for it and catches it, 1 out.
Glad was way out in front of that sweeper, hitting a little weak fly ball to Harrison Bader out in center field, but you can tell he's not really on point right now like he was in August and July. You can tell he's getting fooled by some of those off-speed pitches. He was obviously fooled right there by that sweeper.
So he goes back to the dugout, 1 for 3 today. Here's Ernie Clement, who's 1 for 2. Manaya's pitch. Called strike. By the way, on that St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard, Bobby Witt Jr. hitting .334, if you're tracking it. Next pitch to Clement. High and outside, ball 1. Mania winds, kicks, delivers. And Clement checks his swing, takes a heater for strike 2.
Ernie didn't like the first called strike, and he certainly didn't like that one either.
That one, it was borderline. It looked a little bit outside. 1-2. Swing and a foul back. Very similar location for the next pitch by Mania. We've talked a little bit about the efficiency of Bowden Francis. Same could be said for Sean Mania, who's on 77 pitches with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Francis got through 6 on 85. 1-2. Swing and a foul back again. That fastball way up there near the letters of Clement, and he just rolled it back into the screen.
Well, we know that he loves elevated fastballs.
He does. He kind of loves all fastballs. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Goes chasing a sinker outside. And for Mania, his 7th punch out of the day.
Yeah, tough pitch from Sean Mania right there. 94, way outside. Ernie Clement was just trying to protect there, but it was so far outside that he couldn't even get the bat to it.
So 2 outs, nobody aboard, and Will Wagner will bat for the Blue Jays. Francisco Lindor is talking right now with second base ump Stu Sherwater, and I think something's going on with Lindor. They stopped time because of it, and he's walking around awkwardly.
He's walking around like a bee was flying around him. I don't know exactly what was happening, but it seems like there was a bee flying around.
There's a bee on his glove, but Chris, are we stopping Major League Baseball games because a bee is on the field? Stu Sherwater, the Saskatchewan native, by the way, as Lindor was walking around, just took his hat off and slammed it into Lindor's glove. I think that's the appropriate way for us to treat bees.
Not if you're a bee lover.
No, I mean, there's nothing against bees. I don't know that we need to stop Major League Baseball games because a bee is flying around you. First pitch to Will Wagner, called strike 0-1.
Didn't that happen to Juan Soto recently? He was actually batting and there was a bee flying around and he swatted at it during the AB.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. 0-1. Mania misses outside to Wagner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But no, that looked like a guy that was terrified of bees out there.
Yeah, I mean, come on. 1-1. Swinging a foul off to the left, 1-2. Like, let's swat at the bee and get back into position. I don't know. 2 down, base is empty. Infield playing straight up defensively against the left-handed hitter Wagner. The 1-2. Swinging a line drive foul over the netting and into the seats. Another try for Wagner now, who's 0 for 1, pardon me, a strikeout and a walk. 1-2 again. Takes the breaking ball down and away. Mania winds, kicks, delivers, and the 2-2 is rolled over to first. Alonso picks it up with 2 hands, jogs over to the bag, and steps on the base to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Sean Mania, a pitcher's duel as we go to the 7th with the Blue Jays leading the Mets 1-0. Bowden Francis charging back out onto the diamond. We'll see him next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Seventh inning in downtown Toronto. Bowden Francis and the Blue Jays leading the Mets 1-0. No hits for the New York Mets as we start this seventh. 4-5-6 for New York, starting with Brandon Nimmo. Francis's first pitch. Breaking ball, strike one.
And now is when you have to keep an eye on that pitch count. Bowden Francis just threw his 86th pitch of the ball game. A little bit elevated.
Last 2 innings have hurt the count. 0-1 in the dirt. 3 base runners in the last 2 innings, 2 hit batters, and 1 walk. That's the only base runners so far for the Mets today. Righty rocks and deals. Swing and a foul back, 1-2. The effectiveness of the Francis splitter really shown in the first at-bat that Brandon Nimmo had today. He just had him all out of whack, swinging way late at the low 90s fastball. 1-2. Goes low with the splitter and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That might have been his best splitter of the day. Obviously a ball there, but started at the bottom of the strike zone. Brandon Nimmo with a good take, but a lot of depth to it.
Comes back with the 2-2. And Nimmo hits it in the air to left. Schneider sprinting toward the foul line. He's going to run out of room. That one deep into the seats. Still 2-2. Nimmo struggles against splitters this year. Wouldn't be shocked if they go back to it. Lefty hitter is batting .063 against split finger pitches. 2-2. They bounce the splitter in, or make that the slider, pardon me. 3-2. Francis on 90 pitches now, facing the leadoff batter in the top of the 7th. Righty's payoff pitch. Swing and a fly ball center field. Loperfido freezes, moves to left center, and makes the catch. 1 out. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Cleveland still up 5-4 on the Chicago White Sox. That game in the bottom of the 7th. And the Texas Rangers now on the board, still trailing, but it's 5-2 now for the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Rangers. Marcus Semien got the scoring started for Texas with his 20th homer of the season. 1-0 Blue Jays, 1 out, top 7. The pitch to Pete Alonso. Breaking ball, down and away, ball 1. Alonso is hitless in the series so far. He has been on 3 times. 1-0. Outside 2-0. Twice hit by a pitch in this series, and he walked in game 1 also. Big right-handed hitter. Leads Major League Baseball in interleague home runs since he debuted in 2019. 2-0 pitch is hit very high. Medium depth right field. Lucas moving over toward foul territory, makes the catch. 2 outs.
And Eric Swanson is now kind of slowly getting loose out there in that bullpen. Not really throwing too hard, but I would imagine that's a just in case out there.
Francis on 95 pitches after getting 2 outs in the top of the 7th. When he had his no-hit bid against the Angels on the 24th of August, they did push him to 117 pitches. First pitch to J.D. Martinez, hit foul, 0-1.
Well, I would imagine that he's at the limit already. And John Schneider is obviously talking to Pete Walker. What should we do? This is another tough situation for them.
0-1 in the dirt. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Base is empty. 1-0 Blue Jays. Toronto with 3 hits today. The Mets with none. Francis winds and delivers. And Martinez chops it foul. Third base side, 1-2.
John Schneider knows that the fans want to see something special, but he also wants to keep his young pitcher healthy. He doesn't want him to throw an excessive amount of pitches. It's kind of that he's walking that tightrope right now.
The good news for Francis's case is he threw 89 pitches in his last start, and it was a week ago. 1-2 pitch inside, 2-2. So he is, or should be, quite well rested at this point.
He's about to throw 100 pitches.
Yeah, he's about to throw his 100th pitch here in the 7th. Ready, winds in the 2-2. Swing and a foul back into the screen.
Pretty fun to watch, though.
Every 5 starts, it's been very entertaining since Francis returned. 2-2. Just outside, ball 3. Francis owning a 1.5 ERA since August 7th. And he's likely improved those numbers here today. His 3-2. Swing and a lazy fly ball, shallow left field. Clement, the shortstop, racing out there, makes the catch and ends the inning. 7 no-hit frames for Bowden Francis, and it's still 1-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 7th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you ready to hit a home run with your next roof? Introducing GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, designed to keep your roof looking and feeling like a winner, rain or shine. GAF is proud to be the official shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Visit homedepot.ca and search GAF to learn more about how GAF Timberline HDZ roofing shingles can elevate your home to the next level. GAF, we protect what matters most.
Ontario is helping you keep more of what's yours. We cut the gas tax and scrap the license plate sticker fee and drive clean program for most vehicles, saving drivers across the province hundreds of dollars each and every year. Learn more about how you're saving more at ontario.ca/keeping costs down. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 7th at Rogers Center. Thanks for tuning in today. Davis Schneider leading off against Sean Manaea. First pitch home, misses outside, ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Derek Brandeo and Tom Young, our technical directors today. Show Ali, our host and producer. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
With the incredible start of Bowden Francis, it's almost like we've forgotten about how good Sean Manaea has been today. Just 3 hits given up.
And only 1 run. His 1-1 pitch misses high, 2-1. Manaea still under 90 pitches pitching here in the 7th inning. And no action right now in the Met bullpen, although it looks like that's about to get started. 2-1. Fastball at the top of the zone, called strike, 2-2.
Also no action in that Blue Jays bullpen, although I'm almost 100% certain that somebody will get back up here in a second.
2-2. Swing and a ground ball foul into the Blue Jays dugout. The Bowden Francis pitch count at 102 after 7 innings, but the Mets don't have a hit yet today. 2-2. Fouled back into the netting. Good job by Schneider fighting off the high heat.
102 is just an elevated pitch count for a guy that hasn't been a starter his whole career. This is a tough situation for John Schneider to be in.
2-2 again. Schneider pokes the ball in the air to right field. Backing up Marte, backpedaling to the track now, makes the catch. 1 out. For Bowden Francis, only once this year he's gone over 100 pitches. That was when he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning against the Angels through 117, and his 117th was hit out for a homer. And now the Blue Jays are getting Yenesis Cabrera up in the pen in left field. First pitch to Luis De Los Santos, called strike.
But it does look like Bowden Francis is going back out for the 8th inning. Nobody's hugging him. Nobody's saying good job, congratulating him. He's sitting by himself in that dugout.
Yeah, no one's talking to him at all. 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's 3 right-handed hitters due up for the Mets in that 8th inning. I mean, they could easily pinch hit. There are 3 lefty swingers on the bench. But Cabrera might be insurance in a way that Swanson was last inning. At least we're hoping for that. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. De Los Santos batting with 1 out and the bases empty. The rookie third baseman singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Manaya's 2-1. Slow breaking ball, misses high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike.
The run that Bowden Francis has been on has just been incredible. We were talking during the break, and I was saying
3-1 pitch in there, strike 2.
And I was saying I've never seen Clayton Kershaw have a run like this. I've never seen Jacob deGrom have a run like this. Max Scherzer, Bowden Francis.
It has been quite the stretch for Francis as De Los Santos fights off the full count offering, sends it over the netting, foul to the right, and stays alive. Three-2. High and outside, ball 4. Second time aboard today for De Los Santos. She's on with a 1-out walk. The Blue Jays are closing out their season against the Miami Marlins on September 27th, 28th, and 29th. And it's Fan Appreciation Weekend presented by TD. Be at Rogers Center for a weekend packed with fun for all ages, featuring games, prizes, and much more. Visit BlueJays.com/fanappreciation to get your tickets. The pitch to Joey Loperfido. Up and in, ball 1. He limbos out of the way of that fastball.
And don't look for De Los Santos to steal during this at-bat. He only has 3 stolen bases this year in the minor leagues, 4 stolen bases last year. Not really a threat out there.
Slim lead off first, being held on by Alonso, and a throw over to first by Minaya. De Los Santos back in standing. We mentioned the Francis pitch count. Minaya now on 100 pitches. Lefty looks at first and delivers a 1-0 to Joey Loperfido. Check swing, pitch was high, snap throw over to first by Alvarez, and back in safe is De Los Santos. While we might not be looking for De Los Santos to steal, clearly the Mets are somewhat concerned about it.
You never know.
Two-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Mets do have action in their bullpen now. The righty Reed Garrett is up and throwing for New York. Haven't seen him yet in the series. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with high heat. It's 2-2.
Such a tough fastball. Up and in. Sean Manaea is so tough on lefties, and specifically Joey Loperfido. Joey Loperfido looks really uncomfortable against Manaea.
He's just lived up and in against him today. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first. The pitch. Swing and a looper foul into the screen. Again, way in on the hands. That hit the handle.
Yeah, a little half swing from Joey Loperfido. The only thing he could do to make contact with that baseball, a fastball up and in, almost at the hands. So tough.
Another 2-2. Check swing, called, strike 3. Perfect sinker on the outside edge. And that's a strikeout looking, the 8th K of the day for Minaya.
It's almost like Manaya's stuff has gotten better. 94 miles an hour, just painted on the outside part of the plate.
I mean, he's almost throwing sidearm. So it's starting behind Loperfido, breaking all the way across the plate. But because of that sink moving back over the plate at the last second, not much you can do about that. 2 outs, runner on first, and the 9-hitter Brian Servant grabs some dirt before stepping up to the plate. Blue Jays leading 1-0. Bowden Francis anxiously waiting to go back out on the mound. The pitch. Up and away, ball 1.
I tell you what, if I'm a GM of any team in this league, I'm giving Sean Manaea 20 years. Or 20 years.
20 million?
20 million.
There you go. Maybe for 2 years or
maybe
3
20
years. 1-0. Low 2-0. Because the angle, because the stuff, what really draws you?
I think it's just the full package. It's the demeanor out there. It's just the confidence. The pitches, obviously, you don't really see lefties like this very often.
2-0 runs inside, 3-0.
The fact that he throws across his body, he's so tough to square up, and we've seen that even against righties today. The pitch starts off the plate outside. It's almost like he's coming at left-handed hitters, and then it comes across the plate. Almost impossible to hit.
108 pitches now in the game for Minaya, a season high. His 3-0. Outside ball 4, and you wonder if that could be his day. Fatigue might be setting in for Minaya. It's going to be. Carlos Mendoza walks out of the dugout after Servant walks down to first, and De Los Santos moves up to second. Before the top of the order comes up a pitching change for the Mets. 1-0 Blue Jays. 2 runners on, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. For the first time today, let's go back to baseball control. Here is Show Ali.
Thanks, guys. And don't forget, before we check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will be on both TV and radio. You can leave them a message right now if you like. The back leg line is open, 416-413-3959. You will hear the voice of Kevin Barker instructing you to leave your name and location, please. Or if you like, you can text them at 590-590, name and location as well. We'll get your calls, your texts up on both TV and radio after this game is in the books. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In the NFL, we are 1 night away from the first game of Week 2. Some injury updates. So Bills-Dolphins is tomorrow on Thursday Night Football. Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen, a full participant in practice after an injury to his non-throwing hand. Seems to be all right. He'll play tomorrow. On the Miami side, running back Raheem Mostert has been ruled out, while a fellow running back, Devon Achane, did participate in practice. He is trending towards playing, though keep an eye on that through tomorrow's practice as well. He'll be a game-time decision. Around Major League Baseball, some scores. Guardians at White Sox. Cleveland was up 5-0 initially in this game. It's taking place right now on the south side of Chicago, but the White Sox coming back with 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Lennon Sosa, Miguel Vargas, and Dominic Fletcher driving that rally. Cleveland getting one back. It's now 6-4 Guardians in the bottom of the 8th inning. Later tonight, lots of baseball on a variety of Sportsnet channels. Royals at Yankees will get going 7:05 Eastern, 4:05 Pacific. That'll be on the main Sportsnet channel. KC blanking New York 5-0 last night. Tonight, it'll be Cole Reagans and Luis Heel, your pitching matchup. At 7:10 Eastern, 4:10 Pacific, it'll be Orioles at Red Sox on Sportsnet Plus. The two teams splitting the series so far. Tonight, it'll be Dean Kramer and Nick Pivetta in the pitching matchup. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. Reed Garrett on the mound. The long-bearded right-hander steps on for his 48th appearance of the season, a 3.5 ERA for Garrett in over 52 innings of work. He inherits first and second, 2 outs. Blue Jays up 1-0, bottom of the 7th inning. And the righty deals to George Springer. Inside with the fastball, ball 1. Garrett just threw 96 with his four-seamer. That averages 97, but it's a lot more junk actually from Garrett. A lot of splitters, cutters, and sweepers. 1-0. Swing and a bouncer foul, third base side. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a big run standing out at second base with 2 outs in this inning. If George Springer can find a hole somewhere, make this a 2-0 ball game instead of a 1-0 ball game, that's a big run.
De Los Santos on second, Servin on first. The right-hander Garrett kicks and delivers. And Springer takes a strike on the outer third, a cutter there to make it 1-2.
It's a pretty good cutter. 93 miles an hour with a lot of movement on it.
Righty hunched over in the set, glove at his chest, the 1-2. Inside, went to the splitter that time and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Garrett's real first full major league season, has had brief stints with the Tigers, Nationals, and Orioles. His 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Puts the cutter by him. A strikeout is Springer to end the inning. The Blue Jays have a pair of walks in the frame, but no runs, no hits, and they still lead 1-0 going to the 8th. Bowden Francis back out on the field trying to keep the no-hit bid going. We'll be back in a second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Jim Leland.
I think the Hall of Fame is about players. I felt like one of them, and I'm not sure I am. But I actually felt like a Hall of Famer, and because those Hall of Famers made me feel that way.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
8th inning in downtown Toronto, and Bowden Francis back out on the mound for the Blue Jays. Righty kicks and deals to Starling Marte, who hits a ground ball to third. Nice stop by De Los Santos. Runs all the way to the mound and throws over to first just to be sure there's 1 out.
Well, that is a huge help to Bowden Francis. Pitch count, 1 pitch, 1 out. He is now at 103 pitches in this ballgame.
But 7 1/3 innings of no-hit balls so far. Francis faces the bottom third of the order in this inning. Just got the 7-hitter in Marte. Francisco Alvarez bats now for the Mets, the second-year catcher. Right on right pitch. Swing and a mile-high fly ball to center field. New center fielder Dalton Varsho out there. Makes the catch, 2 down. Varsho came in. Davis Schneider out of the game. It's Varsho in center now and Loperfido in left for defense.
And I have to say it again, that is gigantic for the pitch count. 2 pitches in this inning, 2 outs for Bowden Francis.
Although I am going to bet you $20 that whoever is pinch hitting now, because it's going to be a new hitter in place of Harrison Bader, is going to take this first pitch. It'll be Jesse Winker who emerges right now from the Met dugout. They're going to go platoon advantage here with Winker, the lefty swinger, against the righty Bowden Francis. Harrison Bader is now out of the game.
Yeah, that's the unwritten rule in baseball. If the first 2 hitters swing at the first 2 pitches and get out, that third hitter in the inning better not swing at the first pitch.
Although Francis, John Schneider, and Pete Walker would all love it.
I would love it.
2 down, top of the 8th, 1-0 Blue Jays. Winker batting from the left side. And the pitch. Fastball for strike one. Winker got the start yesterday and went 1 for 2 with a single and a hit by pitch. 0-1. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. 92 down the middle, and he just beat him. Fans getting loud at Rogers Center. Bowden Francis trying to complete an 8th inning. His 0-2. Called a ball, and that one had the plate for sure. That's a huge call by Mark Carlson to make it 1-2 instead of what it should have been, which was strike 3.
Well, I don't know who Pete Walker's talking to, but he had both of his palms facing the sky. Like, where was that pitch?
1-2. Swing and a high pop-up to second. Wagner calling for it, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. 8 no-hit frames for Bowden Francis. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Blue Jays leading 1-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control.
What's up, baseball fans? Thanks for hanging out with us for this Toronto Blue Jays matchup. Really appreciate you guys being here and chatting it up. Please take a second to smash that like button down below. Hit that thumbs up for us. It helps bring more fans into the chat and helps the channel grow. The more likes, the better. Thank you guys so much for smashing that like button. Now let's get back to the baseball. Let's go Blue Jays. Finish strong.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world you're a Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
Monday, September 23rd on City TV.
I like to know what my patients are experiencing, to feel how they're feeling.
New series Brilliant Minds follows revolutionary neurologist Dr. Oliver Wolf.
You can't treat a patient without understanding who they really are.
As he explores the human mind.
You see the stuff the rest of us miss. It's a gift.
I choose to walk with my patients, find a path forward when nobody else will.
The series premiere of Brilliant Minds, Monday, September 23rd on City TV.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swanson staring at second. Comes home with a 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. First pitch of the 8th goes to Nathan Lucas, and he hits a comebacker to the pitcher Reed Garrett, who underhand flips to first. 1 pitch and 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, 1-0 Blue Jays, and it looks like Bowden Francis will have the opportunity to go back out in the 9th. Mets hitless through 8 innings against Francis.
I'm sure John Schneider would love an insurance run right here.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up, and the pitch. Low ball 1. Blue Jays got their lone run in the 4th. Only 3 hits for Toronto today. But Francis has limited the Mets to no hits. 1-0. Down and away. Best thing for Francis was just how quick he went through that last inning. You had mentioned it.
Oh, boy.
6 pitches in the 8th. Two-0. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field. Winker going back at the wall and makes the catch just in front of the wall, backing into it as he reeled it in. 2 down.
Well, I think he actually slammed into the wall and then caught that baseball at his chest. Boy, that was about 5 feet or so from getting out of here.
That would have been big for the Blue Jays. Instead, it remains 1-0 Toronto, with Ernie Clement hitting, 2 outs and the bases empty. The righty Reed Garrett set, kicks, delivers. And Clement shoots a liner to right field. That's going to sink down for a base hit.
I would imagine if all goes according to plan, I think John Schneider and Pete Walker are just going to let Bowden Francis go. If all goes according to plan.
Like batter to batter, as long as he maintains the no-hitter.
Right. I wasn't going to say it, but you did.
That's fine. I've said it like 5 times already, so why stop now? Going to be a pitching change on the New York side, though. Reed Garrett out of the game after the 2-out base hit. Looks like the Mets will go left on left with Will Wagner. So before the next batter comes up, Wagner, let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Another reminder that we do have Jays Talk after the conclusion of this game. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker have the post-game show. They are standing by. They will be on both TV and radio. You can leave them a message right now via the back leg line. 416-413-3959 is the numbers you can call. You will hear the voice of one Kevin Barker instructing you to please leave your name and location. Or if you like, as always, you can text them 590-590, name and location. That is the People's Text line. We'll get those up on both TV and radio after this game is over. And if you do text them at 590-590, standard data and messaging rates may apply. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. A couple more NFL injury updates around the league. I had mentioned that for Bills Dolphins on Thursday Night Football tomorrow, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen was a full participant in practice after an injury to his non-throwing hand. He's all right. He will play. Devon Achane did also participate in practice. He will be a game-time decision. Elsewhere around the league, Packers quarterback Jordan Love did not participate in practice today. Not surprising after the sprained MCL. He's expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks. While 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey was limited in practice, a calf injury and Achilles tendonitis holding him out, though 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan saying he is not a candidate at this time to be put on injured reserve. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. Southpaw reliever Danny Young into the game for the New York Mets to get the platoon advantage against the lefty hitter Will Wagner. 1-0 Blue Jays. Ernie Clement on first, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Young making his 36th appearance of the season, a 3.21 ERA. Blue Jays saw him game 1 of the series. His pitch home. Down and away, ball 1. Sinker sweeper for Young. It doesn't throw all that hard. Sinker's in the low 90s, sweeper in the low 80s. 1-0, called strike.
Pretty nice season, though, for Young. 3-0, the 3.21 ERA in 35 games.
And really his first extended time at the majors. Pitched very briefly in the last 2 seasons for Seattle and Atlanta. Steps and throws over to first before the 1-1. Clement back in easy. The buzz of anticipation around Rogers Center is palpable for the 9th inning. 1-1. Swing and a ground ball to second base. Picked up by Iglesias. He throws to first, and we go to the 9th. 1-0, the Blue Jays leading the New York Mets. And Bowden Francis will return to the mound, looking to put his name into the history books. We'll be back in a second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Innovator, icon, GOAT. What up, it's your man LL Cool J. Take a ride through stories and sounds direct from one of the game's all-time greats on a new limited engagement channel. Featuring songs from my classic and timeless albums. Don't call it a comeback. To my new star-studded joint.
Is you cool with that, Daddy? Yeah.
And exclusive LL mixes by some of hip-hop's best DJs, you know what I mean? LL Cool J's The Force Channel. I'm the player that you're talking about. On now, channel 79, and at home on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Hey Blue Jays fans, what a night. We've got the lead. Let's keep it that way. How's it going out there? Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all chatting it up. Now let's go Blue Jays. Let's finish this game strong. Let's keep that lead.
Cooperstown,
let's
New York.
hear it in the chat. Go Jays, go. Let's go Blue Jays. Come on. I want to see it in the chat. Spam it up. Go Jays, go. Let's finish this game strong. What a night it's been so far. Let's keep it going.
Where you get your podcast.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ninth inning in Toronto, and Bowden Francis back on the mound. Blue Jays up 1-0, and Francis delivers a first pitch strike to Francisco Lindor. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Francis has not allowed a hit through 8 scoreless innings. Top of the Met order is 0-1 to Lindor. Swing and a miss. Got him leaning forward on the splitter and a loud cheer as he's ahead to 0-2.
That might have been his best splitter of the day right there. Francisco Lindor was way out in front of it.
And on pitch 110. Here's 111. Swing and a high fly ball, deep right field, hooking and gone. Francisco Lindor breaks up the no-hitter, almost identical to how Taylor Ward did it a few weeks ago with a leadoff home run, and this one will tie the game. It's 1-1, Blue Jays and Mets in the ninth.
That is a gigantic home run for the New York Mets. Brian Serven wanted that pitch up and out of the strike zone. It was an 0-2 pitch, and Bowden Francis threw it right down the middle.
For the second time inside a month, Bowden Francis takes a no-hitter into the ninth inning at Rogers Center, and he'll get another standing ovation from the Toronto crowd. The Mets tie it up on the Lindor homer. John Schneider taps Francis on the back, takes the baseball, and the fans give him a roar as he lightly tips his cap to the Toronto crowd. 1-1 ball game in the ninth. Chad Green is going to answer for the Blue Jays. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And I am certain what went on at the Rogers Center today will be most of what Blair and Barker discussed during Jays Talk today. They have the post-game show. They will be on both TV and radio. You can leave them a message right now about Bowden Francis or anything else you like via the back leg line. 416-413-3959 is the number to call. You will hear the voice of one Kevin Barker instructing you to leave your name and location, or if you please, you can text them at 590-590, name and location as well. We'll get both your calls and texts up on both TV and radio after this game is over. If you choose to text them at 590-590, standard data and messaging rates may apply. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Two games on right now, actually. Cleveland taking on Chicago on the south side. Cleveland was up 5-0 initially in this game, but the White Sox came back with 4 runs in the bottom of the third inning. Ledin Sosa, Miguel Vargas, Dominic Fletcher driving a mini rally. Cleveland up 6-4 right now with 2 outs. In the bottom of the ninth inning, the tying run is at the plate. Elsewhere in Arizona at Chase Field, the Diamondbacks doubling up the Rangers right now, 8-4 in Arizona. A little bit later on tonight, a lot of baseball on a variety of Sportsnet channels. Royals at Yankees will get going at 7:05 p.m. Eastern, 4:05 p.m. Pacific on the main Sportsnet channel. KC blanked New York 5-0 last night. It'll be Reagan's Healy pitching matchup this evening. 5 minutes later, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, 4:10 p.m. Pacific, it'll be Orioles at Red Sox on Sportsnet Plus. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get back to the action at the Dome. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. Jose Iglesias fouls off the first pitch from Chad Green, and we're back underway in the top of the ninth inning. 1-1 Mets and Blue Jays. Bowden Francis loses the no-hit bid in the ninth thanks to Francisco Lindor's homer, and now the 0-1 spiked. 1 ball, 1 strike. Green's offering. Swing and a miss by Iglesias. Out in front on the slider, 1-2. September 2nd, 1990. Dave Stieb throws the only no-hitter in Blue Jay history, and it's going to remain that way at least for a little bit longer. 1-2. Fouled off.
At least until Bowden Francis' next start, you mean?
Well, you never know. Could get one in the middle, but Francis does keep flirting with him. 1-2. Swing and a chopper to third. Charging in De Los Santos. Gloves. Throws high and bounces it into the camera well out of play. Iglesias up to second. And while Chad Green has not pitched very well recently, it feels like 8 of these plays have been made in the last 4 appearances for him, where he is just not getting a lot of help right now.
Yeah, that's not a really tough play for a big league third baseman. That bounce came up around the face, makes the easy catch, and then just rushes the throw to first base, nowhere near Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
It's going to be a hit and an error, they rule it, for Iglesias. Runner on second now, nobody out. Green set, and his pitch to Vientos. Down and away, ball 1. So now the focus turns from the fanfare of the no-hitter to trying to win this game in series. Blue Jays and Mets tied at 1, and the Mets have a runner on second, nobody out here in the 9th. 1-0. Low, 2 balls, no strikes.
And you can imagine the Mets are going to do everything in their power to score that run from second base. A huge run for them.
Getting right into the thick of the Met order. 2-0. Vientos takes in the dirt, ball 3. Brandon Nimmo is on deck, and behind him in the hole is Pete Alonso. Green kicks and delivers, and misses inside for a 4-pitch walk. Vientos down to first, and runners on first and second, nobody out for the Amazons. That'll prompt a mound meeting. Brian Servant going to go out there, and it looks like Pete Walker will make his way around the dugout railing and walk up the steps as well. Stopping to talk to John Schneider before he jogs onto the field. Bowden Francis, the final line today. 8+ innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 hit batters, and 1 strikeout. Blue Jays gave him the opportunity to complete the no-hitter, which I think we were both in favor of, although it does come back to burn them a little bit here as the home run has now made it a 1-1 game.
And as much as I want Bowden Francis to throw the no-hitter, I don't want him to throw 122, 125, 130 pitches. That's a little bit absurd, especially when you're talking about a guy that could potentially pitch in the big leagues for the next 10 years. Like I said, it's a fine line that John Schneider and Pete Walker are walking on in that dugout.
Lifted Francis right after the home run. Now Green has allowed the first 2 to reach. Brandon Nimmo up to the plate, corners in, watching a bunt. Green looks at second, delivers to the plate, and Nimmo didn't show bunt. He takes down an in, ball 1. Brandon Nimmo's 0 for 3 today, batting in the 220s on the season. One-0. Called strike. I wouldn't expect much of a bunt. The corners have backed up. Even though it's a bunt situation, Nimmo hasn't sacrificed once this season and only did it once all of last year. 1-1 offering. Takes down in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Chad Green is really erratic right now with the fastball, with the off-speed pitch. Hasn't really found the release point yet.
Probably should have had an out on the infield single by Iglesias, but a walk and now a 2-1 count to Nimmo. The pitch. Inside, ball 3.
Boy, that fastball there was nowhere near the target. Brian Servant was set up outside, and that fastball ended up off the plate inside. Almost hit Brandon Nimmo.
Nobody out first and second. Really can't afford a walk here with Pete Alonso up next. 3-1 pitch. Fastball in there, strike 2. One game. Blue Jays out hitting the Mets 4-2. Green set at the chest, the 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4, and the bases are loaded after back-to-back walks. Could hear some cheers from the scattered Mets fans after that walk, and this is a really tough spot now. Bases loaded, nobody out, tie ball game, and Pete Alonso is up, and now all of the Mets up on the top step of the dugout.
Yeah, not only do you have Pete Alonso up, You have J.D. Martinez on deck, so this is a big couple of batters for Chad Green here. And now the infield is coming in to try to cut off this run from third base.
Pinch runner on second. Eddie Alvarez in for Mark Vientos. Alonso taps the plate. Looking out at Green now, the righty. Delivers home. First pitch hit back foul, 0-1. Blue Jays shifting way to the pull side for Alonso. Vlad is significantly off the line at first. 0-1. Swing and a miss. And with the slider, he gets ahead of him, 0-2.
This is almost an impossible situation for Chad Green, but keep in mind, Pete Alonso doesn't really have much speed. He's a home to first double play candidate.
If he can get the right ground ball. The 0-2. Looking for the strikeout. They miss outside with the slider. Green doesn't really pitch to ground balls very often. Likes to elevate that fastball, go down and away with the slider. Here's 1-2. Outside with the slider, and again, Alonso lays off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he is certainly looking for a strikeout in this situation here.
Green's 2-2. Swing and a fly ball right field. Deep enough to score the run from third. It's caught by Lucas, but tagging from third is Iglesias, and he's going to come to the plate. Moving from second to third goes Alvarez, and the Mets take a 2-1 lead.
Really nice job from Pete Alonso, fighting off that tough pitch up and in and just muscling it out to right field enough to score that run from third base. And now the Mets are ahead 2-1 in this ball game.
And that's where that first play when Green comes in really comes back to bite you. Even if he ends up walking Vientos and Nimmo, if there wasn't a runner on second base and Iglesias after that single and error, he's not going to score on that sac fly. Now the Mets with the lead for the first time today. 1 out, runners on the corners, and J.D. Martinez up in the top of the 9th. Green's pitch. Called strike.
And the New York Mets are absolutely pumped in that dugout right now. A lot of hugs, a lot of high fives. Big game for them.
Credit to them, no hit in 8 innings, and have figured it out here in the 9th to take a 2-1 lead. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Blue Jays still have the infield mostly in. Maybe not right on the edge of the infield turf, but pretty much even with the base paths. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball foul off to the right. Up the middle, Wagner and Clement are deep enough that they could turn to if a ground ball is hit to them. But still pretty far in. Guerrero is holding on the runner at first, and De Los Santos is just behind the bag at third. 0-2. Check swing, pitch down and away. Appeal down to first base. He did not go. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Green set, peeking over his left shoulder. Now the 1-2. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, he's really yanking that slider. That last slider was nowhere near the strike zone.
It's causing him to throw a ton of pitches. 25 pitches and now 5 batters faced. 13 balls, 12 strikes. 2-2. Just outside. Looked pretty good, but it was the right call according to the strike box. And it's a full count.
Well, I can tell you this. Mark Carlson doesn't like that Brian Servant is holding that pitch there.
Green's going to step off before the 3-2.
Causing the crowd to boo, causing John Schneider to bark at Mark Carlson, even though that was a good call.
I mean, it's a pretty borderline pitch. I feel like it's a reasonable hold by Servant. 3-2, runner takes off from first Nimmo, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. That's going to be a third walk issued by Chad Green in this inning, and the bases are loaded again for the Mets. Genesis Cabrera is up in the Blue Jay pen, and I'm not sure that Chad Green is much longer in this game.
Yeah, Pete Walker's on the phone right now, probably asking if Genesis Cabrera is in fact ready. I would imagine he is. This is the second time he's been loosening up in this ballgame.
Green will stay in to face Starling Marte with the bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch. Fastball, strike 1.
Starling Marte is a tough guy to double up as well.
0-1. Outside. Although easier than he used to be. In 2019, Marte had a sprint speed of 29 feet per second, 92nd percentile in the majors. This year, he's 27 feet per second, 41st percentile. 1-1. Check swing outside, 2-1.
Is that your way of saying he's old?
More, I guess, the way of saying he's kind of slow, but you can interpret it however you like. Not quite the burner he was when he led Major League Baseball in stolen bases in 21. Swings at the 2-1 pitch and lofts it to right field, fairly shallow. Tagging at third base, Alvarez. Lucas runs into it and makes the catch. Alvarez tagging, coming to the plate, and he will score. The throw bounced up the line and was late anyway. It's a sacrifice fly for Marte, and it's 3-1 Mets. Important add-on run for New York, and it's going to be the run that knocks Chad Green out of the game. Mets 3, Blue Jays 1. The walks came back to hurt Green after the misplay on the infield to start his outing, and he hands the ball to John Schneider with 2 on and 2 out. Genesis Cabrera about to enter for the Blue Jays. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network. But actually, we're going to go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we get back to the Rogers Center, don't forget we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They are standing by. I can see them right now. They'll be on both TV and radio. You can leave them a message via the back leg line, 416-413-3959. You will hear the voice of one Kevin Barker instructing you to leave your name and location, please, or you can text them, also name and location as well, at 590-590. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. We'll get those up on both TV and radio once this game is in the books. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. A couple of finals, actually, early finals. First, the Chris LaRue Bowl. The Pirates beating the Marlins 3-1 in Pittsburgh at PNC Park. On the south side of Chicago, the White Sox do lose to the Guardians 6-4. They did push the comeback in the third inning, but still the Guardians hang on for the 6-4 win. Right now in Arizona at Chase Field, the Diamondbacks currently doubling up the Rangers. Bottom of the fifth inning, runner on first with 1 out. Diamondbacks up 8-4 on Texas. And, of course, a little bit later on, lots of games still to come. The Rays will take on the Phillies in Philadelphia. Shane Baz and Zach Wheeler, your pitching matchup there. Kyle Schwarber scratched with soreness from that game, so he will not continue his assault on the record books. But Rays at Phillies will go in about just over an hour. Rockies Tigers goes in a bit over an hour as well. Royals Yankees and Orioles Red Sox will be on Sportsnet later tonight. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Genesis Cabrera on to try to finish out this ninth inning that has fallen apart a little bit for the Blue Jays. 3 runs for the Mets, started by Lindor's homer that knocked Francis out of the game, but then a pair against Chad Green, and now still 2 runners on the responsibility of Green, 2 outs, and a 3-1 Met lead. Cabrera faces Francisco Alvarez, right-handed hitting catcher. Lefty Genesis Cabrera pitching for a second straight day. His first offering. Fastball hit in the air, deep center field. Going back, Varsho jogging toward the track. That ball is gone. First pitch, 3-run homer. And the Mets have blown it open. 6-1 New York is beating Toronto.
And that ball was absolutely hammered as Chad Green is on the top step of that dugout. Looking on, that was a fastball right down the middle, and Francisco Alvarez absolutely destroyed it to center field. Dalton Varsho barely moved.
That almost got to the WestJet flight deck. It hit high up that blue wall behind the center field fence. You don't see a lot of guys hit him out there. Alvarez, who's having a bit of a tough season, hits his 7th home run of the year. And Green watching as 2 more earned runs went on the righty's line today. Cabrera now pitches to pinch hitter Tyrone Taylor, and the first pitch inside, ball 1. Well, the Mets were saving all their hits for the 9th because they didn't have a hit in the first 8 innings, and they have 3 worth 6 runs here in the 9th. 1-0 pitch, cut on and missed, 1-1.
And 3 walks in this 9th inning as well.
All 3 of those walks issued by Chad Green. One. Low 2-1. The Mets had Edwin Diaz up, but I could imagine that they might think about getting someone else up if they can. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball, slicing foul out of play, 2-2.
Although the Mets do have an off day tomorrow, so they might just throw him anyways just to get him some work.
Yeah.
Although it does seem like somebody else is about to start getting loose out there. It looks like Ryan Stanek.
Well, just because the Mets have won so many games recently, Diaz has been fairly active. 2 outs in the 2-2 to Taylor. Swing and a grounder foul.
Well, I guess the problem right now is if Yenesis Cabrera gets Tyrone Taylor out on this next pitch, does Ryan Stanek have enough time to get loose?
I feel like someone from the Mets dugout should yell, like, call time to Tyrone Taylor. Waste a little bit of time for their reliever. Base is empty, 2 down. Cabrera's 2-2. Swing and a foul off, and I don't know if he knows he has to be doing it, but he's doing a good job of killing some time right now.
Now, a big league reliever like Ryan Stanek that's been around a long time, it'll take him maybe 7-8 pitches to get loose, and he'll be fine.
He's got 7-8 pitches on the mound in between innings as well. And he is entering relatively low leverage, up 5 runs at least in the 9th. 2-2 again. Swing and a deep fly ball hit to left field, hooking toward the corner, and it's off the wall. Taylor around first, digging for second, a stand-up double with 2 outs.
Well, I think Ryan Stanek is going to have enough time to get ready. Tyrone Taylor with a pretty good job just smacking that ball off the wall. His 18th double of the season. Yenesis Cabrera leaves that slider hanging over the middle of the plate.
A mix of boos and MVP chants as Francisco Lindor comes up now. Blue Jays fans booing because Lindor broke up the no-hitter. And you know why the Mets fans are chanting MVP. 31 homers on the season now for Lindor. Runner on second, 2 outs. And Cabrera's pitch. Low ball 1. Switch hitter Lindor is having quite the season, even if neither of us really think he's the MVP. The 1-0 misses inside, 2-0. And he's just been a phenomenal player for a long time. He's likely to go down as one of the best Puerto Rican players in the history of the major leagues. He recently passed Carlos Delgado in wins above replacement. 2-0. Inside, 3-0.
The interesting thing about Francisco Lindor is he is a switch hitter, and he's almost the exact same player from either side of the plate. Obviously faces less left-handed pitching, but very similar numbers across the board.
3-0. Inside ball 4. He'll take a 4-pitch walk, and Cabrera through 3 batters has not recorded an out. This 9th inning has spiraled out of control on Blue Jays pitching. Brian Serven walking out in front of the plate to give some signals to the Blue Jays defensively. This will be the 11th batter now to come up for the Mets in this inning, Jose Iglesias.
Yeah, and Luis Frias is now going to start to warm up in that Blue Jays bullpen out in left field. Like you said, this is just spiraling for Genesis Cabrera.
And he's the third Blue Jay pitcher to throw a pitch this inning. His first offering to Jose Iglesias. Called strike. Mets 6, Blue Jays 1, first and second and 2 outs. The 0-1. Swing and a fly ball deep center field. Varsho racing back at the track, reaches up and makes the catch to end the inning. 6 runs in the 9th inning for the Mets, and they lead 6-1. Blue Jays need 5 to tie it up. Varsho will lead off for Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Are you ready for some football? We're going to cheer on Toronto's team, the Buffalo Bills, and we're starting out Sunday, week 1, noon Central, 1 Eastern. Make sure you're here hanging out with us for the Bills hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Let's have a party and chat up some football and cheer on Buffalo while we're at it. Go Bills, go. Let's go Blue Jays. Back to the action. See you in the chat, everybody.
So when you gotta move, all moving day, think 2-minute truck, 2-minute truck.ca, cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Hey, this is Dalton Varsho. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ready or not, here I come.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. The Jays trail the Mets 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 9th at the Rogers Center. One more reminder about Jays Talk. Blair and Barker are standing by for the post-game show. They'll be on both TV and radio. You can leave them a message right now if you so desire via the back leg line, 416-413-3959. Barker will tell you to leave your name and location, or if you please, you can text them 590-590, name and location as well. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays trail the Mets 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you. Show new pitcher for the Mets is Ryan Stanek. He'll try and finish off this ball game. Mets leading 6-1. And Dalton Varsho is going to lead off the inning for the Blue Jays. Came in as a defensive replacement for the 9th, or rather in the 8th inning, and now bats for the first time in the spot originally occupied by Davis Schneider. Stanek, tall righty, long hair. He kicks and delivers home, and Varsho cuts and misses, strike 1. It's been a tough season for Stanek, ERA near 5, but you wouldn't have known it from the outing he had here 2 days ago. He punched out Varsho, Guerrero, Horwitz to strike out the side. 0-1, outside 1-1. He's got great stuff. Averages 98 on his four-seamer. Throws a hard splitter and slider, too. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Elevated 97. It's 1-2.
And the most impressive thing about him is he goes right at you. He's not afraid of anybody. He goes right at you with the fastball, then elevates the fastball, and then throws that hard splitter, like you said. Really tough reliever.
His 1-2. Went downstairs with a splitter and missed. Traded to the Mets on July 26th and still trying to settle in New York. 2-2. Outside ball 3.
In 2022, Ryan Stanek had a 1.15 ERA in almost 60 games.
On the World Series winning Houston Astros. 3-2. Fouled off the glove of the catcher Alvarez. Looked like that hurt Alvarez a little bit. It hit off of the top of his glove, and he was kind of hunched over, but the home plate ump, Mark Carlson, checked on him, and he appears to be all right. Spencer Horwitz is taking some swings on deck. Looks like he'll bat for Luis de los Santos. 3-2 to Varsho. Inside ball 4. Leadoff base runner for the Blue Jays, and they're just going to try and get some traffic here and see if they can create a miracle comeback down 6-1 to the Mets.
That's a scary fastball if you're Dalton Varsho. 98 miles an hour coming at the shin bone. Luckily, he was able to jump out of the way and get on base with a walk, but never fun.
Not fun at all, but Varsho unscathed, and Spencer Horwitz now pinch hitting for Luis De Los Santos. Nobody out, runner on first, 6-1 Mets. And the pitch. Horwitz takes a strike, 0-1. Great day for Spencer Horwitz yesterday. A walk, a single, and an RBI double. And last time we saw him as a pinch hitter, he hit a 2-run homer. 0-1. Swing and a grounder to first, backs up Alonso. Forehand gloves it, spins, throws back to the pitcher covering Stanek. Varsho up to second, but that's the first out of the ninth.
Really nice play from Pete Alonso. Had to hit Ryan Stanek on the run. Got it right to his chest for the easy out at first base, but I think that's a tough play. People don't realize how tough that play is for first baseman. Vlad's really good at it too.
He looked very composed on that play. Because he's a righty first baseman, it would have been a really awkward throw had he not spun, but he didn't whip around quickly. Just kind of planted his feet like a quarterback surveying the field and tossed to his open receiver, Stanek. One out, runner on second, Joey Loperfido up. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Tough day for Loperfido against Sean Manaea, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Stanek, the righty, set on the first base side of the rubber, looks at second and delivers. Loperfido hits it high in the air, left side of the infield, veering into shallow left. Winker under it, or actually Nimmo is back out there in left, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Nimmo in left now, and Tyrone Taylor in center. Final chance for the Blue Jays here, trailing the Mets 6-1. Toronto led 1-0 from the fourth until the ninth, but the Mets with a huge rally to not only end the no-hit bid of Bowden Francis, but add on a big lead. And it'll be a pinch hitter for Brian Serven now. Addison Barger is going to come up with 2 outs and a runner on second. Stanek's pitch. Swing and a foul back, 0-1. Unless something changes radically, it'll be a 4th straight series loss for the Blue Jays. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Toronto went through a stretch of a lot of contenders. 3 straight NL East teams. Mets, then the Braves before that, then the Phillies prior to that. Dalton Varsho, by the way, just took off for third base with Stanek holding the baseball. Just takes third on defensive indifference. Mets fans getting a bit louder here. Blue Jays down to their final strike with 2 outs, the 0-2. High, ball 1. But for the Blue Jays, they went Twins, Phillies, Braves, Mets, and a bit of a litmus test against contenders, struggled against those teams. Down 6-1 to New York in the bottom of the ninth. Stanek set, rocks and delivers. Swing and a hard ground ball through the whole right side, a base hit into right field. In to score Dalton Varsho. Addison Barger around first with an RBI single. And Barger keeps the hope alive. It's now 6-2.
Yeah, such a good swing from Addison Barger. A good split finger down in the zone from a guy who throws almost 100 miles an hour. But Addison Barger right on that good split finger, hammering it into right field for an RBI.
That will flip it back to the top of the order. Blue Jays down by 4 with 2 outs. George Springer up for Toronto. Stanek's pitch. Check swing, called strike. Springer 0 for 3 today. A walk, 2 strikeouts, and a lineout. Was robbed of a hit up the middle by Jose Iglesias. 0-1 is cut on and missed. 99 outside edge. And once again, the Blue Jays go down to their final strike. Edwin Diaz is warming up again. He was up in the top of the ninth, just in case things get more interesting. 2 outs, runner on first, 0-2 count to Springer, and a 6-2 Met lead. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. Nathan Lucas is the on-deck hitter should the inning continue. In the hole and representing the tying run right now is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-2. Swing and a soft roller to short. Charging in Lindor. Bare hands. Throws over to first. Not in time. Infield single for Springer. Up to second goes Barger. And again, the Blue Jays come up with a 2-out, 2-strike hit in the ninth to keep this game going.
Well, that was a really nice play from Francisco Lindor. So tough on the slow roller. Barehanded that baseball and made a perfect throw to Pete Alonso at first base, just barely missing out on the out there. George Springer hustling down the line, but again, what a nice play.
That's made it a save situation with the tying run now moving into the on-deck circle, and Carlos Mendoza is not going to mess around with how important this game is for the Mets. He's going to go to his bullpen for Edwin Diaz. Stanek does not get out of the ninth. It's 6-2 Blue Jays. Back in a sec. Let's go to our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. One more reminder before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, that Blair and Barker will be on both TV and radio for Jays Talk. Once again, you can leave them a message right now if you so desire. Backleg line is open, 416-413-3959. You will hear the dulcet tones of one Kevin Barker instructing you to please leave your name and location. You can also text them 590-590, name and location as well. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. All right, let's check some scores from around Major League Baseball. Again, 2 finals in the books. Pirates beating the Marlins 3-1, while the Guardians narrowly edging the White Sox 6-4 on the south side of Chicago. The White Sox did make it interesting, but Guardians hang on for the win. Right now, apart from our game, the Rangers are currently in Arizona at Chase Field taking on the Diamondbacks. Arizona up 11-4. Bottom of the 6th inning, looking to add some more. Runner on second with 2 outs in Arizona. A little later on tonight, you can watch a pair of games on Sportsnet just after 7 p.m. Eastern. Royals at Yankees is at 7:05 Eastern. Cole Reagans and Luis Heel, your pitching matchup. The Royals blanking the Yankees last night, 5-0 the final score. A little bit after that, 7:10 Eastern, the Orioles will take on the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Dean Kramer and Canada's own Nick Pivetta will be the pitching matchup in that one. That series so far split, so this game tonight will be the rubber match. A little later on tonight, you can watch a whole host of games, including Cubs at Dodgers. Wicks Miller, your pitching matchup at 10:10 p.m. Eastern, 7:10 p.m. Pacific. That game also will be on Sportsnet. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center we go. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, and it looked like the Blue Jays were down and out, but they've rallied a little bit. An RBI single by Addison Barger, and then another single by George Springer, and it's 6-2 for the Mets, and the tying run is in the on-deck circle. First and second for the Blue Jays, 2 outs. Edwin Diaz comes in what's now a save situation for New York. Nathan Lucas will hit for the Blue Jays, and if he reaches, the tying run comes to the plate. First pitch from Diaz, swing and a fly ball to left field. Racing toward the foul line, Nimmo pulls up, makes the catch, and that's the ball game. A 1-pitch save for Diaz. The Mets rally in the 9th inning, and they take it today, 6-2 to take the series.
Well, such a tough ending to this ball game. Bowden Francis, of course, took the no-hitter into the 9th inning. Over 108 pitches going into that 9th inning. And who else but Francisco Lindor deposits that solo home run to break up the no-hitter. And, of course, Chad Green comes in and gives up a few runs. Genesis Cabrera gives up that home run in the 9th inning. So the final score looks a lot worse than, of course, the game was. But what a game from Bowden Francis. Another incredible outing. I mean, you can't really say enough good things about what he's done for this team. How he's basically come out of nowhere, and he really didn't use the split finger all that well today. It was basically fastball, curveball, slider, even mixed in a little bit of a cutter there, but another great game.
Blue Jays fall in this one 6-2. We'll take a quick step aside, come back, wrap it up, and get you to Blue Jays Talk. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
It's time to celebrate you with the Party at the Ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Panel Giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the ninth. How much fun was that?
It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend for the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges a ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays fall 6-2 to the New York Mets at Rogers Center. Thank you for sticking around. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We mentioned it. It was the big story of today's game until it wasn't. Bowden Francis with another no-hit bid for the Blue Jays. He no-hit the Mets into the ninth inning before Francisco Lindor led off that inning with a home run, eerily similar to Taylor Ward's home run that broke up, or at least the play. The homers were hit to much different spots, but the play that broke up Bowden's no-hit bid on the 25th against the Angels. But let's focus more on the good 8 innings than the one tough pitch. What did you like from Francis specifically today?
Well, I think that he was locating his fastball really well. That was the biggest thing. He was inducing ground balls. As the strikeout total is indicative of that. Only one strikeout today in his 8 total innings. But the fastball was really good. It was explosive through the zone. The velocity was a little bit down, 90 to 92 today, but when you throw 90 to 92 and you can navigate through an offense like this New York Mets team, that shows you that you're really mixing it up, you're really locating well, and he did just that today.
Blue Jays, though, did not provide a lot of run support for him, and that made the home run so big. And then Francis comes out of the game, and it just kind of fell apart from there. The Mets come up with 5 more runs in that inning, including a big 3-run homer by Francisco Alvarez off of Yenesis Cabrera. Blue Jays showed some fight in the 9th inning, putting up a run, putting a couple on base, and drawing the closer Edwin Diaz out of the Met bullpen. But Toronto just didn't have enough offensively today and dropped the series to the Mets 2-1. Blue Jays end up losing this one 6-2. Mets score 6 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 5 left. Blue Jays 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 9 left. The win in relief goes to Danny Young, who pitched 1 out in this game in the 8th inning. He goes to 4-0. Chad Green with his 6th loss of the year, 4-6. Edwin Diaz picks up save number 18. 2.5-hour game in front of almost 30,000. The Blue Jays with the loss fall to 69 and 78. The Mets are now 80 and 66 and put the pressure on the Braves to win today to stay in the National League playoff picture. Thank you so much for tuning in. From our technical directors today, Derek Brandeo and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your day and stick around. It's time for what I'm sure will be a very interesting edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. It starts right now.
All right, Kevin Barker, why don't we just pretend the 9th inning didn't happen? How about that? Would you be okay with that?
No. I would not.
Hold on. Have you've done this before? Just push the little red button there.
I did. There it is. Look at that. Somebody didn't turn me on.
I'll tell you.
Hi, everybody.
Almost makes me think the Blue Jays bullpen was operating. 6-2, the Blue Jays lost to the New York Mets. The bullpen gave it up again. Chad Green was not very good. A couple of errors and walks, and that's it. Now let's talk about Bowden Francis. Now, Kevin, you made this point very early. We were watching the game. It's the same thing I know Buck and Dan talked about it. Velo down.
Yep.
2.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He's had a great run of games. This is probably the worst, quote-unquote, stuff we've seen him have in those games.
For a while, yep.
Yet he carried a no-hitter into the 9th inning against a team that's...
Can't hit.
Well, yeah, but they're a wild card team that can't hit.
They're a playoff team.
With an MVP in the top of the order and the guy in the middle of the order.
Oh, you said he's an MVP?
I said an MVP candidate. NDP candidate.
If they make the playoffs, he should be the MVP of the National League, but that's
another story.
Here nor there.
So why was
That's a great question. Look, I think when your fastball's in the zone 72% of the time, and, sometimes when you say zone, you could almost take that in many ways. I think his misses were on point, meaning when he missed, it was a good miss. It wasn't down the middle like the 0-2 pitch to Lindor, right? I mean, he'd set that Lindor at bat up, right? He went fastball away like he had done all day. Then he went split finger down. And then him and Servin were on the same page. They wanting it up, right? He gets it up. Lindor's out. He misses by just a couple of inches right down the middle, and the MVP hits it to the moon. I think that's sort of what it is. I've been saying this since his little hot streak is forget about the split finger. I know everybody likes to talk about that, but for me, it's the fastball. I think, again, this just goes to show you no matter how hard you throwing it, if you locate it, and you can sort of set it up and get them in swing mode. I mean, he was only 16-24 throwing strike one. I know he got 24 outs. 18 of those were off his fastball.
How many whiffs?
He had
he got all the stats except the one I asked. I apologize.
He had 10 swing and misses. I got every stat you need to know, Jeff. Okay, he threw 57 fastballs. He had 37 swings off that. He had 18 outs off his fastball. That I think is all you need to know, right? When he establishes that, it was away to a righty. It was up to a righty. I know he'd been a little bit better throwing in, but maybe that's because he just didn't have confidence in his velocity. That's why he was, more if they're going to beat me, they're going to have to beat me the other way. And this is sort of, I think, the Bowden of new is now he can pitch his way out of not having his best stuff. And I know you heard Buck talk about that, right? This is the most impressive start in a while for him.
Sure it is.
Because he didn't have his velocity. And he didn't have his split finger. Like, he didn't have that. He had his curveball. He would throw that occasionally. He had the slider that he was throwing after he would set it up, going away with the fastball and up the fastball. So,
all right,
good for him.
Let's get the historical stuff out of the way before our friends join us on TV. It is Blue Jays Talk. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. 416-413-3959. Leave us a voice note. 590-590 is the text line. Name and location, please. We're here with you until 7 o'clock on Sportsnet 590. The Fan, soon to be joined by our friends on Sportsnet TV. So, by now that this is the second time in 4 starts that he's carried a no-hitter to the 9th inning. Taylor Ward broke up the other one in a home run. Francisco Lindor broke up this one. 4 of his last 6 starts have he's allowed what in 4 of his last 6 starts. I mean, he's been clearly dominant. He has now thrown 3 starts with a no-hitter through 5+ innings. That is tied for the Blue Jays record along with Estrada, Morrow, Woody Williams, and Dave Stieb. This is the 13th time since 1920 a pitcher has had multiple no-hit bids of 8+ innings in the season. The last one to do it was Max Scherzer with the Washington Nationals. Nolan Ryan is on this list 3 times, and Dave Stieb, who still has the only no-hitter in Blue Jays history, is also on that list. Francis is the 4th pitcher since 1920 with multiple no-hit bids of 8+ innings in a season, but failed to record a no-hitter in either of them. He now owns the Blue Jays record for starts with 7+ innings and 1 hitter fewer allowed in a single season. That is 4. It is. I mean, what more can you say about Bowden Francis? He's gone from being a guy who might have been a swing guy, a guy they really didn't know what they had, to, I've got to say right now, Kevin, a guy who, I mean, if knock on wood, if he can stay healthy through these final 2 starts, I think you pencil one in. Yeah,
I disagree. The people that I talked to that matter, that are making some of the decisions around there, I think they knew what he had. It was just, you have Alek Manoah, you have other people that are trying to start ahead of him, and he's one of the sort of forgotten guys, right? He's a fill-in. He wasn't one of the starters. You'd rather have Alek Manoah or somebody else start, and I think they knew that he was pretty good if he got an opportunity to consistently have a routine and could figure out just what kind of pitcher he is, right? He's got lots of confidence, and the tempo of the way he gets the ball to the sign and throws it is off the charts, right? I'd tell you he's very confident. He's not thinking about mechanics. It's very simple now, right? That little thing he does, the side saddle, just getting the leg up and getting it down on time and having the same release point. Now, like I said, your miss is when you throw what he's throwing now. The velocity has to be on point. If it's not, you're going to get hammered like the 0-2 pitch to Lindor. And consistently, he's been staying out of the middle of the plate. He does that again, no matter how hard you throw. It's not how hard you throw, it's where you throw it. And he's been doing that, and he's setting it up. And just so happens today, I think more impressed today just because he didn't have his split finger.
Right, and there was kind of a cool moment when he came out of the game as well that the cameras caught, and that was Sean Manaea. Actually, let's go to John Schneider, the Blue Jays manager, and we'll finish our thoughts on Sean Manaea later.
Defense, we had some Adam balls. Schneid's playing left, and he was getting a lot of weak contact. His fastball was really good. The velo was kind of hit or miss, but he was locating it really well and getting pop-up after pop-up. So I think the 8th inning really kind of just solidified it, quick 8th. And I don't know how many other guys lose a no-hitter in the 9th on a homer twice in one season, but he was outstanding. Pitch mix was really good, but it was funny with myself and Pete kind of after the 6th. It's like, all right, here we go again, and you start kind of counting pitches, and but just an outstanding effort from him.
That 8th seemed like it helped him a lot to get him the 9th, but going into that at 102, like where were you at in terms of a pitch number, what you needed to see to let him do this?
I think with the extra day's rest, he was going. He was going. He could have been at 120 after 8. He was going. So, again, I don't like to mess with a chance at history, and it sucks for him that it's happened twice in the same fashion, and then unraveling quickly after that. But it was his.
Like you said, the last time there were a lot of strikeouts. This time only one, but the first trip through, tons of pop-ups, and I think only one ball hit on the ground. What was the difference today?
I think it was. To the eye, it looked like they were being aggressive to try to avoid his split, and they were swinging kind of early. I think the difference, his fastball can do that. I think when he's operating efficiently, his fastball can get either swing and miss, or it can get pop-ups. Just with his delivery, kind of deceptive, and where he was locating it. So that's kind of by design when he's throwing that, and when he's throwing it there with the other pitches going along with it, it makes it really tough.
He has told us about his relationship with Servin, and he said when he got called up from Buffalo, he wanted to bring Servin up with him. He's been behind the plate for 3 of these one-hitters. Can you talk about that relationship at all?
Yeah, it's cool when that kind of thing develops. We joke about it a little bit after the stretch Bowden's had, but a lot of credit goes to Brian too. It's calling a really good game. I think besides the pitch where Bowden told Iglesias what was coming, they were pretty much on the same page. But it's cool to see that develop. It's cool to see that trust develop, and it happens kind of just organically over time. You see it kind of often where people just trust one another, and they have a really good back and forth, a really good chemistry. And when a pitcher's confident with what's being called, usually they're making good pitches.
John, you mentioned the velocity was a tick down in this start, yet he still kept attacking with the fastball. How much is that a byproduct of just his confidence and his mindset these days?
Yeah, it's what I love about him too is, he's had a really good stretch, and he's not backing off. He's not backing off of anything he's doing in between his starts. He's not letting his guard down and thinking that he's got things figured out. That's the biggest thing I love about him. And, you look back at, today, almost getting taking a no-hitter into the 9th, and even the last game against the Phils where he had a battle. It's just really encouraging for him and for us going forward that he can navigate, when he doesn't have his best stuff or when he has to limit damage. So taking positives out of a unfortunate 9th inning, I think what he's done the last 2 have just been outstanding.
In some of these no-hit bids, you see those special plays. Yeah. What did you think about Davis Schneider's catch? And when he did catch that ball, did you think, okay, this is something special today?
Yeah, it usually involves one of those plays. That ball kind of just kept going, and Schneid, that's a hell of a play for him. I think at that point, you start thinking about it a little bit. You start thinking about how things lined up. There was a lot of hard hit balls that Nate in right field we were positioned perfectly for. Vladdy grabs a liner, things like that. There was a lot, but after Stein made that catch, you start thinking, oh shit, here we go again. Yeah.
John, losing it to Lindor instead of to Taylor Ward, was there anything in the at-bat that set the home run up for Lindor?
I don't think so. I mean, he gets ahead strike one and then throws a good split, swinging strike, and he had a lot of success. He was trying to go up, with the fastball, and it just wasn't quite there. But I don't think so. I mean, he's MVP candidate. He's a really good player, and there's no home runs hit in the series up till the 9th inning today, and of course they hit 2. But I think it was kind of dealer's choice there. Do you go fastball up for a pop-up swing and miss, or do you throw another split? So. Sucks for Bowden. I feel for him because you can sit here and second guess a pitch call or a pitch selection, but I think either way, it just missed his spot a little bit.
Just kind of on that note, do you think that Bowden is well equipped to take the positives from these types of experiences rather than sort of like cling to the negative of falling short twice?
Yeah, I think so, really. Like when I went out there, he looked at me, kind of smirked and said, "We did it again." And I say, "Yeah, we had a couple run lead last time, but." I think so. Yeah, he's mature. He's really, really kind of wise beyond his years, and I think he has a really good job of looking at the big picture of things. So, I think he will take a lot of positives out of this, and he'll probably laugh a little bit at the fact that he's lost 2, in the 9th inning on home runs. But I just can't speak enough to how he's evolved and how much he's taken from this opportunity. It's just been so cool to watch.
And obviously, I mean, he might take a no-hitter into the 9th every time he goes out there, but just overall, like, how good does the team feel that this is sustainable, that this is something that he's going to continue to build upon even going into next season? Yeah, it's huge. It's, again, huge for him and really big for us. It's you think back to the beginning of the year and we're talking about an opener and, yanking him early and just what he's done has just been so rewarding for a lot of people. I mean, him most importantly, but I think at this point, you look and you say, okay, this is a guy who gets it, and this is a guy that is reliable. This is a guy that is continuing to evolve and continuing to want to get better, and that's just everything you could ask for in a starting pitcher.
You mentioned Pete Walker earlier. I think we all know Pete. He can get a little intense.
Yeah.
What is Pete like when this is happening, going to the 7th and 8th? Our broadcast kept showing him, and he looked like he was about to explode a couple of times as far as just because the intensity and I imagine the stress.
Yeah.
Do you have conversations about certain things at that point, or do you just kind of leave him alone?
Yeah. Some of it I can't share here, and some of it is just really it's just very much like Pete. You watch the game today, and there's some hard contact, and the odds say that it's not going to work out the way it did for 8 innings, right? In the 7th, he started talking to me about pitch count. Hey, I'd be okay if this is it for him, and I was like, I'm not. He said, well, assuming he gives up a hit, and I was like, oh, okay, well, he's going. So we went back and forth a few times. About it, but I think that Pete is so invested with his guys, and I think he's one of, if not the best in the business at what he does. The conversations are they're kind of calming for me actually, and you got to talk to him about it too a little bit. But it's he starts really calculating in his head what's best for the guy first and foremost, and I love having him next to me.
John, for a franchise that's almost 50 years and has had the caliber of pitchers here, to have only one no-hitter, obviously speaks to the challenge of it. And I was kind of thinking about Bowden Francis, thinking about Dave Stieb going back-to-back outings, losing in the 9th with 2 out. Just having watched it up close, obviously been around the game, just can you describe a little bit about the challenge of throwing a no-hitter and all the different elements that have to fall into place?
Man, it's so many things have to go your way, whether it's a borderline pitch, a play made behind you, how you're feeling physically. It has to really line up, So when you think about us historically, it's really weird that it's worked out the way it has. And really weird for the same guy within a month. There's so many things that go into it, and Bowden's like the perfect guy for it to happen to twice. You know what I mean? If that sounds fine to say, it's just I hate that it happened for him, but it's he's kind of quirky a little bit. But there's a ton that goes into it. A lot of things have to line up, and it's really weird that there's only been one for us because we've had some really good pitchers here and still do have really good pitchers here. But I think that kind of speaks to the difficulty level of what that is.
As historic and noteworthy as a no-hitter is, how unusual is the wrong way to phrase this, but what the heck? But what does it say to have him have at least 7 innings of one hitter 4 times in 6 starts?
It kind of speaks for itself, We got to get Bassett to make another little sign to put behind him. But, it's when you have a couple good ones, things can be okay, a little bit of luck involved. But when you're doing it consistently, it means you're doing something right. And I've said it for the last month, I think, but how Bowden has taken this opportunity and run with it, and again, not letting his guard down, I think has been huge, and it just bodes really well for him and for us going forward. But it's a pretty good sample size of him performing, him making adjustments along the way too.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider. Hello and welcome to our friends on Sportsnet television side. The Blue Jays 6-2 losers to the New York Mets this afternoon. But the story, Bowden Francis again taking a no-hitter into the 9th inning, again losing it on a home run. The Jays franchise still with 1 no-hitter. That, of course, by Dave Stieb. Interestingly enough, because you heard Shai Davidi ask John Schneider about all the great pitchers the Jays have, and how odd is it that they've only had 1 no-hitter. The New York Mets have had a lot of great pitchers. Mm-hmm. Johan Santana has thrown the only no-hitter by 1 pitcher in Mets history. Their second no-hitter was a combined no-hitter. Tyler McGill, Drew Smith, Joely Rodriguez, Seth Lugo, and Edwin Diaz in 2022. So it's just that, obviously it's a rarity. You don't see them a great deal. These are 2 franchises that don't make a habit of throwing no-hitters at you. And we just before we went, Kevin, to hear John Schneider, we'll listen for Bowden Francis. And I mentioned there was kind of a cool moment, too, where Sean Manaea, who pitched really, doesn't get mentioned here, but was really good himself in the Mets dugout, the Mets starter, looking over to Bowden Francis and tipping his cap to him, and Bowden Francis gave him the thumbs up. This is an amazing run for a guy. Never mind the carrying the 2 no-hitters into the 9th. Just his opponent's batting average in these 6 starts is .092. That's the second lowest of his 6-year start in the live ball era. That's also since 1920. Like, we are literally talking about something historic.
Yeah, and he doesn't throw 99 miles an hour.
And he doesn't throw 99.
Yeah, it's
exactly
closer to 90 than it is 100. Like, that's the coolest thing about it, right? It's, he's a pitcher's pitcher, right? That he's trying to set up the split finger. He's trying to get called strikes with it. He wants that thing to carry the zone. He wants to locate a way to a righty. He wants to get you to chase up with a fastball. Like, he's trying to set you up a couple of pitches in advance to, just like he did Lindor. He had the elevated fastball set up. Right? I mean, John is talking about, maybe he flips him a slow breaking ball. He's out and around. He rolls it over to Vladdy. But, again, if he hits his spot, Lindor's out. Like, that's the sort of the game of inches when you're, in the heat of the moment trying to do things. It's historic. That's why it's so hard to do. I give him credit. I talked to him in spring training, man. He's like one of the nicest dudes in the world. He's very soft-spoken, as we all know. We listened to him talk there, and just sort of they used him like a yo-yo, right? It was how all the different ways they tried to force him into just being a pitcher instead of just saying, here's the ball, go out there every 5 days. And now he's getting an opportunity, and he's one of the 4 guys now.
416-413-3959. That is the back leg line. Leave us a voice note, name and location, please. We will get it on air. 590-590 is the text line. The Mets scoring 6 runs in the 9th inning. They sent 11 men to the plate, a couple of home runs. Chad Green didn't get any help from his defense to start the inning, but my goodness.
3 walks. There's no defense for walks. It's like Groundhog Day. Like it's even when you're watching historic things from your starting pitcher, it still shines a light on why your team is having the year it's having. Yeah. The 8th and 9th inning, and offensively, now Sean Manaea is filthy. Like that thing he's added with the sidearm and the crossfire and how big he is and how lanky he is. I mean, he give a lefty nightmares. Like Lo Profito's going to go home and have twitches when he's laying in bed. Manaea twitches, but it's still sort of, again, that's the thing, right? Velocity, 4-seamers, and the 8th and 9th inning. And for me, if they don't go out and fix it.
Let's be clear. The Blue Jays bullpen this year has been catastrophic. That's the only word for it. It's been catastrophic. And, it's
been that way about the middle of June off.
Well, been that way since Jordan Romano and Jimmy Garcia
Jordan went May 30th.
Both down at the same time, and the decision was
June 17th is
not
when
bother
Jimmy
addressing the issue. But anyhow, we're not going to. We don't want to get into that. Today belonged to Bowden Francis.
Absolutely.
We're going to go live to Bowden Francis's interview right now. Though, let's go to our board, our text line 590-590. This is from David in Toronto. No, it's not. It's from Dan in Sarnia. Do you agree with this statement? Bowden Francis is the Blue Jays' number 4 starter for next season.
He's one of the 4.
He's one of the 4. I mean, I don't want to get
putting
into
a number on it. He ain't one of the 3.
Who's going to go where?
So,
yeah,
how's that?
That's a good point.
How's that?
I will say this: there's a crap ton of separation between 4 and 5 right now. Barring a trade, there's a lot of separation here right now. Let's go to David in Toronto because he talks about something I know people are going to be talking about, and I want to dismiss it right away. We're here at the Dome watching this game fall apart. What is the possible reason for pulling Francis simply because of the home run? He was still pitching incredibly well today, and there's no reason to think it wouldn't continue. It certainly wouldn't have been worse than this, David in Toronto. I wanted to get to this because I know there are people out there, and I hear it all the time. The guy's got a no-hitter. Why do you take him out as soon as he loses the no-hitter? Guy threw 111 pitches today. He didn't have his best velocity. It's
heart rate, mindset, it's overthrowing, it's how you would get hurt, it's being chapped that you gave up a hit. Like it's all the things that would go into, again, they're trying to control this thing from the 6th inning on. You heard it in John's voice. Like, Here we go again. What are we going to do with this dude when the pitch count gets up? Like, they start getting nervous around a certain number, and then when they give it up and it's 111 pitches, they're just trying to keep him out of his own way. Basically, that's the thing.
Bowden Francis isn't used to throwing 111 pitches. There are not many pitchers in baseball are, to be honest.
That's why you have a bullpen.
And I've got to tell you the truth. I mean, I've covered a lot of no-hitters. I've covered a couple of perfect games. I've covered way more no-hitters that were broken up. At no point have I sat there and said, man, why did they take the starting pitcher out? If you're carrying a no-hitter in the 9th inning and you give it up, you give up the no-hitter. I think it would be.
So what pitch? It's how you gave it up. I mean, an 0-2 homer to a dude, you're getting taken out of the game.
Yeah. No, and at that point, and again, as Kevin mentioned, you heard John Schneider talk about, they were having the discussion in the 6th and 7th.
Yeah, they saw the velocity. Velocity is an issue. Like, they worry about that.
Yeah.
And it was down.
416-413-3959. That is the back leg line. 590-590 is the text line. This is Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. The Blue Jays have lost 6-2 to the New York Mets. Once again, the bullpen gave it up. The Blue Jays, they're playing a run of games against playoff teams. There's certainly, these last 6 games have been consequential to the National League wild card race. This was, and I just want to put this out there because I know it is Blue Jays talk. If the New York Mets go on to get that final playoff spot, they're going to look back at this game where they were no hit and their MVP candidate hit a home run in the ninth inning to break up a no-hitter and send them on the way. They're going to look back at this game as being really, really important. Conversely, if the Atlanta Braves lose that, if it comes down to one game or something like that and the Braves lose it.
Yeah, it's what good teams do. It's what playoff teams do. They have 27 outs.
Let's go to Bowden Francis. I was going to say the man of the moment. God, he's been the man of the last month.
Off of Lindor's bat and it went out. What immediately came to mind?
Again, I just felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel that one coming. I felt like, I thought it was going to maybe a pop-up or something, but with that many pitches, I just felt like I had to kind of empty the tank with heaters and kind of let them put the ball in play like I was doing all day. It wasn't one of those days where I felt like I was going to get a bunch of swing and miss, so I felt like I needed to attack the zone and just not get behind with guys because I know more pitches, it was like less chance I was going to stay out there.
Kevin Gausman and Chris Bassett came over to you after, said something to you to make you smile. If you could share with us what it was that they were saying.
I'm trying to think, they were saying, that's not good that I don't remember that, but I don't know if I think they were like maybe saying that I had the gauze effect with my velo that day. Just to take this week easier on my body because I know that they know that I'm taxing it pretty hard right now. So I don't know if that made me laugh, but it wasn't something that crazy.
I'm sure you've always had confidence in yourself, but I mean, the run you're on right now, it's almost historic. I mean, have you proven something even to yourself over this, 6 weeks or so?
Proven something to myself. Yeah, that I can, I can do this. I can start in the big leagues. I feel like I've always kind of believed that, though. I feel like a lot of people kind of, I don't know. A lot of guys kind of lost hope early on in this year. I didn't. But that's how things go. Everyone kind of says, what have you done for me lately type of thing. And I don't know. I feel like anyone can have 2 bad starts. I just felt like I'm getting my shot now, and I'm just trying to make the most of it. Just keep on trusting my stuff and trusting the people around me.
Do you think having now taken no-hit bids pretty deep into the game a couple times already, did that help you today?
Did it help yesterday?
Did it help you today?
I hope today. Yeah, going out there later in the game, it's not as new, I guess. More familiar feelings and feeling the crowd and having good little talks between innings with serve. And yeah, it's always good to have stuff like that come up, and hopefully I keep building on it and keep having comfortability with me going longer in outings and stuff.
And specifically in a no-hit bid, in that kind of situation, it's probably tough to get experience doing that. Most pitchers probably don't even do it once. But now that you've done it a couple times, does that mentally get a little bit easier at all? Or does it change at all?
A little bit, but there's always stuff creeps in, negativity and doubts and all kind of stuff. But that's where you just kind of have to bring it back to and try to even it out with positivity. I always try to feed my mind with good stuff instead of wishful stuff. I always try to just believe my stuff and keep attacking, keep staying on my plan. I feel like I had a good plan going in, and I just try to keep trusting it.
What are you most proud of when it comes to today's performance?
I feel like I Going into it, like I didn't feel great. I felt like a little fatigued. I didn't sleep great, so I feel like I guess I'm proud of not letting the outside noise like velo, stuff like that affect it. It definitely creeped in. I was like, why am I throwing so slow? But I just kept trying to channel it and saying your stuff's working, keep trusting the plan, and keep them off balance. Just got to grind it out with those kind of days.
Did you hear the crowd when you came out of the dugout for the ninth inning? Were you aware the crowd was?
Yeah, I felt it, yeah.
And when you were coming off again?
Yeah, it was always stuff like that. It's pretty special, and I always try to cherish that and never take it for granted. I feel like it's super cool.
Dave Steeb is the only no-hitter in franchise history. He had 3 near misses with 2 outs in the ninth inning before he finally got his. He talked a little bit at the time about just having a process, getting so close that many times. I'm just wondering for you, how are you processing getting so close a couple times and not ending up with the no-hitter?
I'm just gonna learn. Like I've gotten beat twice with fastballs. I feel like maybe from here on out, when I get those deep, I gotta empty the tank on some of the off-speed stuff, or really mix it. But it's something I don't want to just like change just because it's the ninth inning. You know, I gotta stick with my plan, but it's also I gotta learn that I don't know. I can't keep getting beat right there in that situation, but it's part of it.
Just like someone mentioned, it's hard to get to this point and to get so close. Having been this close a couple times, how do you reflect on just the challenge of being able to throw 9 innings with no hits and all the different elements that have to fall into place?
Don't let all like the external factors like bleed in. I feel like, you know, sometimes your mechanics fatigue and stuff starts drifting, flying open. So I just try to keep trying to my mechanics in a good spot, and keep trusting my mechanics. It's later in the season, so I feel like my body's at like a good spot with remembering like what my body needs to do. But days like this where I'm a little more fatigued, I felt like you just got to keep telling yourself that your stuff's there. It's not a big deal. You just got to keep chipping away.
That is Bowden Francis. And for those of you who are wondering, those of you watching on TV, Bowden Francis was wearing a cap, or a ball cap, Western Hydrodynamic Research. And Western, this is no surprise if you know Bowden Francis. Its core philosophy revolves around merging surfing, functionality, and environmental responsibility. It's basically a surf label product, Western Hydrodynamic Research, and Bowden Francis is very much into that stuff.
I wish we could take the next 35 minutes and just listen to him talk.
Yeah, he might still be talking for 35 minutes. Unfortunately, we've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll go back to the phone lines. It's Blue Jays Talk on Sportsnet and the Sportsnet Television Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're Two Men and a Truck. Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. This summer, catch the excitement of Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. From pregame to postgame, Blue Jays Central breaks down what went down and why. When the action heats up on the field, Sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet app take you deeper inside the game. Headlines, scores, highlights, and more.
It is way out of here.
Watch or stream on Sportsnet or listen to every game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. All summer, only one source brings you closer to the action. Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Next pitch, Moniak takes off. It's low a ball, throw down to second. They got him!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
All right, welcome back to Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. 416-413-3959 is the back leg line. 590-590 is the text line. The Blue Jays 6-2 losers to the New York Mets. Bowden Francis losing a no-hit bid in the ninth inning. Francisco Lindor hitting a home run off him to end the no-hit bid and open the door to a 6-run ninth inning for the Blue Jays. The Jays have tomorrow off. They welcome the St. Louis Cardinals into town. Connor in Fredericton left us a voicemail.
Hey, guys. I'm just calling in for a little question here. So with Bowden Francis being so dominant this season, where do you think Yariel Rodriguez goes? Do you think they move him to the bullpen? Do you think they keep him as a 6-man rotation with Manoah coming back in? Just curious to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, not the 6-man rotation. They're not doing that. The first 3 guys won't allow that to happen. That's not going to happen. They don't need, They have enough off days to start the season next year. They're not going to have to do a 6-man rotation. You have no idea what Alek Manoah will bring you. And hitting the ground running, starting the season next year is a must. So you're going to go with what you know. I would think with the money that they've paid Yariel, he's starting. I think there's sort of, it's made the sending him to the pen and having to make a decision. Sounds to me like they've already made one. And they got a lot of heavy lifting. And how many teams have 5 legitimate starters? If Bowden's really good, now you got 4 and you figure out your 5th guy. If you have to have an opener with him or you have to give him 2 or 3 innings to start the season, whatever it takes to get him through, to give a better lineup a chance, and then you can turn it over to a better bullpen to win baseball games, then you do what you have to do. But for me, it's real simple. He's starting next year.
Yeah, I think that's I guess the door could open in the event of a trade. I mean, Kevin's talked about it. You've got to get – I understand it's a difficult situation because the Blue Jays' area of strength is their starting pitching. Their major area of weakness is the bullpen and the middle of the lineup. Sometimes you have to take from your strength to address your weaknesses. So I'm with Kevin right now. I think your 5 starters are here. I don't know. Maybe Jake Ploss gets a look. I mean, they'll bring depth. They'll bring guys into spring training, right? Pardon me, or they can trade them. But I think the development of Bowden Francis is
huge.
It's huge because not only does he solidify your rotation next year, but if you've found something with him. You've got a guy who's going to be cheap for the next 2 years. And at some point, there will be turnover in that starting rotation. Like Kevin Gossman and Chris Bassett are not going to be here.
Yeah, you had
2 years
three
down the
dudes.
road.
You had no idea who your fourth and fifth guy was. Now, all of a sudden, you got a legitimate 4 guys you feel confident going into the offseason.
And you know what? Most importantly, you can treat your fifth guy as a fifth guy
Absolutely.
now. Because you've solidified that
That's no
spot.
question.
Sheldon and Richmond Hill.
I realize as a batter, the batter has very limited time to see a pitch and decide a ball or strike. But maybe, Kevin, you can explain when a ball starts out like a fastball 4 inches off the plate and stays there, what is the batter seeing that they're swinging at that? Or it's 4 inches above the strike zone, knowing that it's going to be a ball from our perspective on TV. What is the batter seeing that they're swinging at these pitches? It seems to be very often with the Blue Jays that they're swinging at these pitches. The same thing with off-speed pitches. The ball starts out outside and it continues on, and these guys are swinging at pitches that are 6 inches outside when they already started there. Love the show. Wait for your answer.
Yeah, look, I think we've been talking about this all year about the inability to consistently hit velocity and fastballs. That's one reason, right? If I can't, I cheat, I speed myself up. I swing at things because I'm looking for it, because I know that I have to get it geared up. I'm not letting that travel an extra half an inch. I'm not letting that get somewhere in the phone booth where I can do maximum damage because I have trouble hitting velocity and a fastball. Breaking ball, Marquise Grissom told me when I first made it to the big leagues, you ain't going to make a living off hitting the breaking ball. I mean, there's a handful of dudes like the Vladimir Guerrero Juniors of the world who mash both, but there's only a few of those kind of guys. So I think it's that. I think the spin and the velocity on the pitches now that basically these pitchers have mastered, and then you add a guy like Manaea today who's doing it with deception and crossfire, and it's very hard to see. I mean, he's dropping sidearm for a reason because it works. It's very hard to pick the ball up. I mean, if you're a lefty, you just have to imagine how much you have to spin your head to watch release point. He's throwing that from behind you. So now all of a sudden you have to start a little open. Now you have to self-correct that when you make your positive move towards the baseball and how hard he throws it and how quickly it gets on you. It's almost impossible to zone it in and swing at your pitch. And that's sort of it's a great question. It's a very individual answer. It's a different answer for everybody, but a collection of a lineup like the Blue Jays have had the same problem all year. They're like the bottom end at hitting velocity and fastballs, and I've been saying this to Jeff forever on our show, that until the lineup 1 through 9 is consistently better at hitting the good old number 1, they always throw that one. I mean, they throw it about 50% of the time. Until you get somewhere, say, in the top 12 in baseball as a team of hitting velocity and slugging off that thing, it's going to be hard to take you serious. So that's why I've said for a while, go out and get your 2 thumpers hitting the middle of the order, and then you can sprinkle around, and then you could sort of massage your way through guys that have issues doing it.
Lee in Calgary.
If you were GM for a day, where do you think the Blue Jays would need an upgrade after we've watched all these young kids from Buffalo play so well in the last 30 days?
8th and 9th inning, got 2 thumpers.
Yeah.
I can't lead off George Springer anymore. I got to get Bo Bichette back. We're going to kiss and make up. He's going to be happy because I went out and got 2 thumpers. I'm in win mode now, and I need a plethora of 8th and 9th inning guys. It's just, you look at the good teams that roll in here facing the Blue Jays. It's like they just throw so much different arm angles, and they're bringing serious octane velocity with swing and miss. That's what the Jays need. That's the way you win now. You have good starting veteran guys in the rotation who know how to bridge that gap and make it easier for a manager to hand the ball to the right guy. You're not always going to be able to do it because not every team's got a plethora of 8th and 9th inning guys. Sometimes you got to hand it to the 6th and 7th inning guys, but you can't have 6th and 7th inning guys pitching in the 8th and 9th inning all the time. So it's a real easy answer for me, but it's going to be some heavy lifting. You got to get creative, which he hates to hear, and you got to spend tons of money because predictability costs money. Will they do it? I mean, the process and the process.
$230 million.
I'm with you, but we've actually heard people that are running say the word. You got to be creative, and that gets back to your point.
Make some right decisions. I mean,
spend it on the right people. So yeah, that's
don't outthink yourself.
It's a great question. We've been talking about it forever. It's right in front of them. Look at the game today. They didn't hit. They blew it in the ninth inning. It just continuously plays out right in front of you. It's telling you what you need to go out and get. It's not going to be easy because a lot of teams are looking for that.
Who do you want back out of this bullpen next year?
Chad Green.
That's it? No. Well,
Genesis Cabrera, because you need a lefty. Brandon Little's got to throw most strikes. Like, he's going to be here because they like his stuff. And Petey will figure out some way to get it in the zone a little bit more. And they'll use him in the sixth inning. Sixth inning's different than the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning for a lefty who's not used to doing that and coming in and having to throw to big-time hitters in the middle of the order. It's things like that, right? So there's 2 or 3 of them. Like, you want to win, Jeff? Like, this is where they're at, right? I've said this for a little while. They're in the hard-to-hear stage.
They had Tommy Nance pitching in the ninth inning against the playoff team.
They're going to finish like 16 games out of first place in the East with a top 6 payroll in baseball. Like, if you can't say it any plainer than that.
In a year where it's not going to take a lot of wins to go to the playoffs.
85 wins is going to get you in. But the Twinkies might make it with 85 wins.
Let's go to Chris in Oakville.
Unbelievable.
This morning I heard you on the radio saying that it looked like Bowden Francis be a 4th or 5th starter, blah, blah, blah. I honestly think this guy has top of the rotation stuff, and especially after taking 2 no-hitters into the ninth, and he's setting records after 6 starts. So maybe I'd like to hear your opinion on if you want to change your view of him.
Absolutely not. You got 3 guys who've been around forever. I'm paying $1 bazillion to. I mean, this is, again, the dude throws 91, 92 miles an hour consistently. How long is this going to last? I'm a huge fan of Bowden's. We've been tooting his horn for quite some time. But it just gets to the point where, like, you're asking him to be the opening day starter next year. I mean, that's not blah, blah, blah. It's you got 4 guys.
I'm more upset that you were on another show.
I'm asked to go on a show from a producer who's real good to me, and I will get up and do that. That's what I do. I'm a team guy. I'm a leader. I'm a team guy. That's the way it is. And I got this guy all fired up because he heard me say something that he didn't like about being a 4th and 5th guy. He's a 4th and 5th guy next year going into the season for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, a month in, or somebody gets hurt, or somebody's getting traded in the offseason, that may change. He might be a number 3. Is he going to pitch ahead of Barrios? Nope. He's going to pitch ahead of Gosman? Nope. Going to pitch ahead of Bassett? Not if all 3 of them are here. Jeff, am I wrong or right? There
You're
you
right.
Go. And I don't think it matters. Why put a number on it? I mean, I put a number on it because they asked me. Right? If he went to any other good team that's a playoff team, he's a top 3 guy.
Not a chance.
There you go. I mean, I know I got him fired up, but it's and with the Blue Jays going into next year, don't put numbers on them. You got 4 solid starters who can hopefully turn it over to a better bullpen. And that's the way you win in 2025.
Let's go to Kelowna, BC. Les in Kelowna. Love Kelowna, BC.
Congrats.
Thanks, buddy.
To Bowden Francis on another fantastic outing. Now, question is, a couple guys have left the Jays. Kikuchi, and done well with other teams. I'm just wondering, guys that do well with other teams, is there something against upper management maybe? And Matt Chapman also comes to mind.
Well, I mean, I
disagree about the Chapman
you'd have to ask Trevor Richards, who I think is now unemployed after being traded.
You say he's got good stuff. He throws hard. He's left-handed.
Like, and they have made a change.
You're not a finesse guy. You're a grip it and rip it guy.
They've gotten rid of the curveball, and you've got him throwing a slider, and that's an organizational thing. Look,
Astros are real good at it. They go to World Series a lot. They know what they're doing.
And I mean, Matt Chapman's the same Matt Chapman.
And they do it in a hurry.
Matt Chapman's the same Matt Chapman he was here. I mean,
he's getting overpaid.
That's it. Now, there are times where, Matt Chapman at third base wouldn't
For 25 large?
Well, I was going to say, do I think that Matt Chapman in the middle of the order makes this team better? No.
Would they be 500 or better with him playing third and hitting sixth?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you know what? They would be what they were last year. Maybe they would be what they were last year.
You're putting a lot on Matt Chapman's
No,
plate.
I'm saying no. He's not the answer. But I'm saying if Matt, maybe they would be as good as they were, but you'd have the same slop coming out of the bullpen. So this whole thing about why do guys leave here and become and get better? I mean, I don't have all the trades that were made in front of me right now, but I don't think every player that Ross Atkins has traded has actually turned, like Bowden Francis and Trevor Richards came here for Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez playing for you?
For the most part, they've been really good with their pitching. USA's got really good stuff.
They've made good calls.
He went to the best organization in the American League.
They have. I will say this. There are guys, Jason Adam, Brian Baker, every organization has those guys. They have tied the can to some relievers who've turned out to be okay. But every organization.
Yeah, I think they got a different model than everybody else. They think that they can add and subtract instead of power their way through to get to the playoffs.
That's fair.
Most organizations don't feel that way.
That's fair.
Yeah, because it's cheaper. Finesse is cheaper.
Yeah,
power costs you.
Well, that's fair. Howard in Toronto.
Great what Bowden did, but it was a loss. And everybody, Schneider especially, was giddily excited. It was a loss. Nobody cares that the bullpen gave the thing up. Green is having a terrible time. Your comments. Thanks.
Howard.
Howard, you haven't been listening.
Jeez, man. You have not been listening to.
We've been hammering that forever.
And you know what? I mean, I'm sorry. To me,
it's a good thing. We're looking for positives to talk about here.
No, it's not just that. A guy carrying a no-hitter in the ninth inning is cool.
Who we didn't expect to do this.
You're going to ask
me. He's doing it with 91 miles an hour, who we rarely see do it.
I will ask you this, Howard. What stood out in this game to you? What surprised you? If you're surprised that the bullpen imploded, that you got this out of Chad Green, you have not been watching Chad Green for the last couple of days. And if you're surprised that this is bullpen imploded like this, you've not been watching this team since May. So the only thing that happened in this game that matters for the Blue Jays is that Bowden Francis continued to build on a good season, continued to cement his status. Nothing else. Luis De Los Santos, he's not here next year. I mean, I wish he'd made the play at third base. It doesn't matter. He's not here.
John did make the comment about last time you did this, you handed me the ball to lead, like a bigger lead. Yeah. He did make a comment like that. Howard, I don't know what you want John to do. You want John to throw all of his players under the bus? John knows exactly what we know. His bullpen's not real good. He knows that.
But I think John's point is, you're right. I mean, it would be great if this was a win and we were sitting here saying, man, this is great. The Jays are a game up in the wild card spot.
I look at it. It shows you exactly what they need going into the offseason. They can't wonder about it. And it also solidifies that now they got an extra starter that they weren't counting on halfway through the season, which is kind of cool.
Our friend Dan Schulman said in August that this month was going to be one long fact-finding mission for the Blue Jays. That's exactly what it has turned into. Some of the stuff has been good. Bowden Francis.
Yeah.
A lot of it hasn't been good. George Springer looks like,
I mean, George is the last person you should.
No, but I'm saying that, there was a time where George had it going on a bit. Well, that's kind of stopped.
They were still in it.
Dalton Varshaw's made some strides. Some of the young guys are at least interesting. I mean, I think more of Will Wagner now than I did before. Spencer Horwitz.
Bat in the fourth inning when they scored a run against a tough pitcher.
But, I mean, other than that,
I think for me, this is just me, the fact-finding mission is over. You know what you got. You all of a sudden in the next 15 games ain't going to find out anything you already don't know. This is what I said. The evaluation of talent, it needs to get quicker. Like, you already know what Horowitz is. You sort of kind of know that Will Wagner's going to give you some quality at bats, can play defense, and it's not going to hurt you on that side of the ball, and is a smart base runner. You know that Addison Barger's got bat speed and can, sort of solidify the strike zone a little bit better and has left-handed power, which is what we've been yelling and screaming for. Yep. Like, all of a sudden, in the next 15 games, you ain't going to find out something you don't already know. So, for me, that part of it's over.
Yeah, I mean, the things when I look at this organization right now in totality, what don't I know? Well, there were a couple of guys acquired at the trade deadline we haven't seen in the majors yet. 3, Class A. The third baseman, I keep trying to blank, is it Charles McDowell, whatever. The third baseman from Pittsburgh, the infielder from Pittsburgh.
He's a little young,
McAdoo,
though.
That's right.
McAdoo's a little young.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
Bloss doesn't seem like he's ready for this.
We haven't seen from them,
yeah.
things from them. You know what I keep thinking about? Given all this opportunity and given all this playing time that's out there, Relvis Martinez picked a bad time to flunk a test.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he was sort of in the boat like everybody else.
Yeah, but no, but this on this team, but
yeah, what position he playing?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
If this guy he can take at bats from De Los Santos. He can take at bats from Schneider.
Yeah, he's not playing third. He's probably not an everyday second baseman. We've seen that. He ain't going to play first. He ain't going to DH every day because he don't hit enough homers. Again, it gets back to that thing.
But Kevin,
the evaluation of talent and what going into the next season is going to look like.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about right now. If he was here, you could evaluate him. This is the perfect time for Relvis Martinez to be here, not spring training. You don't want to, you'd rather know what he is. Maybe he's Davis Schneider. Wouldn't you rather find that out this year that you can't count on him? I mean, that's what I'm saying. This was a great opportunity for Relvis Martinez and a great opportunity for the organization to find what he was about. I mean, and I think that's a wasted opportunity for him. It's a wasted opportunity for the organization. I mean, he's your top position prospect. And you're not going to know anything about him. I mean, I guess maybe they can send him to the Arizona Fall League or whatever. But, man, I'll tell you what, I'd sure like to know if Relvis Martinez was here and was doing what Will Wagner was doing. I've also maybe got a possibility of trading the guy. Like, that's what I'm saying. This is a missed opportunity. Hopefully we're not seeing another year like this. And hopefully we're not seeing another year where Relvis Martinez is playing every day at 7 different positions. This would be the year for Relvis Martinez to be here, getting his feet wet, going 0 for 20 or going 4 for 8.
I think what they've done too is allowed you to, because of what other teams have seen these guys do at the big league level. If you want to trade them to get what you need, get creative.
Keith in Scarborough.
I was just wondering what you thought about Dalton Varsho batting number 2. Like, he's a great fielder, but he's not even batting 220. And over his career, his numbers still under 220. Just let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, the Dalton Varsho, going to play good defense, stick him in the lineup someplace. I mean, hopefully next year I don't know. Somebody else, Bo hitting second, Vladdy third, Thumper A hitting in the cleanup spot, maybe George Springer hitting 5th or 6th. I mean, Dalton Varsho, though, you talked about this earlier this week. You have seen signs of progress from him, haven't you?
Yeah, I think he's trying to use the whole field, which is, give him at least a chance to be productive and be a tougher out. But again, it gets back to that thing. Again, you understand why they're sticking him in the 2-hole, because they want him to gain confidence and momentum hitting in front of the big boy. That's what they're trying to do. You understand what they're trying to do. But going into next season, you can't have Kirky hitting cleanup against a lefty or Ernie Clement like today. Like, you just can't.
Was his 13th different cleanup hitter?
We get it. We understand. All of this is what you're trying to find out. But it's what Bass has said. You need some big boys around the thumper in the middle, which is Vladdy at first base.
Let's squeeze one more caller in. Mike in Tilsonburg.
Love your show, guys. Kevin, you look good in that blue and black.
Thanks, Mike.
But I got a question for you. I hear you talking about thumpers and all those things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Would you be willing to give up one of those pitchers, those top 3 pitchers, in order to free up some money to get a thumper? That's my question. I'd like to hear you all talk about that if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
I'm going to get 2 thumpers no matter how I get them.
Yeah.
If I have to give up one of those or a prospect or 2 or 3 of the guys that were here from the trade deadline, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to say this. I'm not moving Barrios.
If I get a thumper who's going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years, I'd move Barrios.
Not moving Barrios. The other guys I would move.
They've tried this. They've tried this road of out pitching everybody and playing the best outfield defense in the sport.
Great. Who's going to be your
I'll find somebody to do that if I'm scoring an extra run a game. Now I'm a 5-run a game team instead of a 3.5-run team, and it hides things. And now I go out and spend my money on a bullpen, and I can trade things. Yeah, I make it a high school game, so I'm scoring 5 a game. I turn it over to a good pen with the lead.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Good teams do that. Yeah. Ray's been doing that forever, and ever.
You go into a year with Gossman.
Astros been doing that all year.
You go into a year with Gossman, Bassett, and Bowden Francis as your 3 starters. Good luck to you. Good luck.
We've had Sampson on this show forever, and you've asked, and I've asked the same question about what the offseason should look like. He said everything's fair game. When you're 17 out of first place.
He's absolutely right. Everything is fair game but trading Jose Barrios. I need someone I know I can give the ball to.
Oh, so you trade. I mean, he's saying trade Vladdy too, but
no.
That's what Sam's, not you. That's what Sam's
anyhow, 6-2, the Blue Jays have lost to the New York Mets. Tomorrow's an off day. Blair and Barker will be on from 4 to 6 Eastern with Sportsnet 590 fan. Sportsnet, however, and then Friday, the San Luis Cardinals are in town for a 3-game series. So, thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Drummondville and Sherbrooke, Quebec. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. They are Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect